better leave it to the professionals.
Last by Bundy, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like the Brown James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Reviews not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum entities. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a
40.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Breaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in shoes. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, mighty, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the drive with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain GM. Thanks so much for joining us here. And you done so, do us a favor, drop us a GM in the chat down below, then head up top, smash that like, repost, and bookmark on today's space. We greatly appreciate it. Warms up the algo and does us a real solid. While you're up there, if you haven't hit the reminder for tomorrow's show, do that and head over to YouTube, smash that like, repost, and subscribe in the YouTube streets. Greatly appreciate it. Start stacking that YouTube XP for the YouTube token they're dropping here soon. Abstract, not kidding, is dropping a token soon. Make sure you're collecting XP by getting that chat going as well. The best GMers dropping all those chats. And as always, I'm Captain, I'm a co-host, Steve. Never any financial advice in the show. Crypto is risky, NFTs are risky, meme coins exception risky. Go to 0 to moments notice. Please don't put any money you can't afford to lose. And know that Steve and I hold tokens we'll talk about from time to time, including REKT, which is not going to zero. It's on a mission to a billion. 12 up days, 12 all-time highs in a row. Insane chart. Up 20% on a day when the rest of the market is down. Steve, we have a winner. Picked up another Billy yesterday.
Me too. You picked up a Billy on the dip. I picked up a Billy on the dip, dude.
I didn't hit the. That was my intentions, and by the time I had hit the swap button, the dip had been mostly erased. Like I've never seen anything. I can't remember seeing anything like it. Every single dip, every sell off is bought up instantly. It's bananas.
Yeah, it is an absolute ripper right now. It seems to be one of the winners of the cycle. And you know what's funny? By the way, give us a like, a retweet, a comment to the room. GM to everybody out there. Appreciate that. Sorry, Stinky Boot B for the name change that you need to wait 14 days to go. I don't know if you saw that. It was commiserating in the chat. Loves the song too. Love seeing you in there. But
we're like 60 seconds late this morning too. My apologies. Steve and I couldn't stop talking about Sydney Sweeney in the pre-show.
I was gonna say, conversation in the pre-show from there probably couldn't go much further on air. But no, the community is actually, I love the fact that we have this growing community coming through on the chat on a regular basis. Like, I do feel like Machiavelli is like, they have different like roles. We got to figure out the way to do it, because it's not like one person's like the person on all the different streams. Like Machiavelli is like the homie across channels. Von Frunten, I feel like, is the leader of the YouTube pack, though. People talk directly to Von Frunten on the YouTube stream. Like basically like we're not here. Like they're just having their own conversation sometimes. So I love that for him. Von Frunten, I wish would get into his content era, like following his son's lead. Look up to the kiddo, son Von Sutton Front son, and get yourself on it, because I know he's out there and people love it. But thank you for the tips in the early chat, by the way. Appreciate that. I know Cap was eating yesterday. But Mesh Mash, Floor Slime, Von Frunten, Be Epic, all the friends out there. Jambird is here, ready to try coffee with Captain 2.0. So we got to get those polls going. Jambird set up that BZ wallet for sure. I got a ton of stuff on BZ and I love it. I don't have the space pulled up, but I know the GMers on there. I'm just going to assume Mel's out there. I'm going to assume Clay's out there. Like, you can sort of set your watch to all the homies that show up there as well. But yeah, man, crazy morning. Obviously, we're going to get into the Pixel Vault stuff, but I do want to hit the REKT token for a second here. Again, like, retweet, comment on the room. It's the best thing you can do. Tips are actually awesome. We love the tips. Even better is giving us a little bit more air cover so more people hear the show. You know, it's funny. There's a couple types of markets here, and one of them is more fun than the other. We always talked about how NFTs are more fun than fungible tokens to us. It just are. It's like meme coins aren't as fun as NFTs. NFT communities are more fun. There's something about the REKT token that's more fun to me than someone being like, go get Hyperliquid, take these 15 steps, get on the perps, do the, all this, just get high. Like, I don't think it's bad. I love that people love it. I love that there's a market for that. REKT is just more fun to me. It's more fun for me to go like, I bought a Billy REKT. I saw a bunch of REKT guys on the timeline going nuts. I got people getting excited about it. The price is going up. The drinks are great. Unfortunately, because of the state I live in, I can't do the Jupiter drop, which is a bummer. But man, I may have somebody try to like send me an aloe and buy me.
There's ways. I have FOMO over missing any drops moving forward. I don't know if you saw, I think it was Oxy's post this morning. I'll go grab it.
Love Oxy, by the way. Oxy's been doing the modern market thing lately and crushing it. Love what he's doing. Love hearing him more.
The very first drop they did, the very first 2Xs, the very first
Liquidated Lime.
I don't think it was that one, was it?
I think Liquidated Lime. I think Liquidated Lime was the first product. Yeah.
So anyone who bought that, he bought a couple of cases. Okay. So I don't know how many, maybe two. I don't know if that's exactly right. But basically, when he bought that, he got 3 billion tokens of REKT. Was obviously much, much lower market cap than today. And this is why I know we were I'm curious. I'm going to ask you a genuine question. I know initially we were on different sides of this. I love volatility of a brand coin that is not a stable coin. Certainly can see the value of why a stable coin would make logical sense as a loyalty reward program. But personally, I greatly prefer this. And this is why. The REKT that he got for those being the earliest supporter was about 3 billion REKT, which today is worth about 6.65 E, $2,500 off of for reward for buying a couple cases. Like, you don't think Oxy's going to buy every case drop moving forward? Like, they have a lifelong fan, and I think this is part of the beautiful flywheel of brand coins and why I lean non-stable. Let them run. Let them run. Now, I get there's a downside to this. Not everything. This is the exception. Not all are going to go up. This is also, I think, why it's fun and why we like it is number is literally going up for 12 consecutive days.
The best tech. It's good tech.
It is the best tech. It's the best marketing. This is actually insane. Like, yes, the market's been ripping. It's not been up only for 12 consecutive days. And this is just this shows the strength in this community, in this team. And I said it before, billions are programs, only 3x away now. Like, raise your target, Steve.
Yeah. I mean, I really haven't changed my stance on brand coins. I said they work. I said Pengu could work. I said REKT could work. You know, I don't think that they have, like, initially we talked about them and it was like brand coins are the meta. It's the next like thing of the future type thing. And then we all backed it up a little bit. And then it was like, well, for a startup, it could be really good. Sure. But like, we love brand coins when number goes up. It sounds great. If those 3 billion REKT were worth 47 cents, it would be like, okay, cool. I got 47 cents back. I got some drinks, but like, we wouldn't be as excited about it. So I think brand coins can work in certain spots in very specific instances at the moment until we have more sort of, models to really work off of. But
I'm doubling down. I think it can work for any startup brand that has a good team and can execute the plan. You now have a playbook. And I think the biggest thing to making a brand coin work is you can't open up and I know Pump is not a brand coin, but you can't open up at a $4 billion market cap. That doesn't work. That's going to go one direction and it's not up only. Like, what I think part of the benefit of REKT is how they dropped it. They didn't scam pump the chart. It wasn't, some manipulated FDV to get this thing super high. They did it organically. It started really low. And knowing OSF a little bit, like they were probably beating themselves up. Maybe, I don't know. Not asked. That'd be the question next time we have them on. Is like, how did you handle the token? Because it hung low for a while. It didn't just open low. It didn't run until recently. Here, I'll go back and get a better timeline. But I mean, I do think.
But there's a world where it doesn't work, and those people are then calling him a rugger and a scammer, and you drop the coin for money. Yeah, that's what happens in this space. Like it's just it worked for REKT. It worked for REKT, but like we're sitting there saying the one exception that has worked so far is the one. How's milk token? How's dude token?
What? Like, neither of those were good executed brand coins. Like if they don't execute them well, I agree. They're going to go to zero and it's going to be shitty. But a good team is not like I don't see any, like, having been in this ecosystem, having been a REKT holder from Mint, no one, like there's thousands of equity holders. None of them are calling OSF a scammer if it goes to zero. We're not. Like, we appreciate the effort. And I think, like, if some anon comes out of nowhere and launches a brand coin, yeah, it's probably not going to work. My point is, good founders, good builders, that's just not going to happen. That's not happening in this space. Like, I don't see anyone that's making a valiant effort. Even, I mean, like, we're going to talk about Pixel Vault here in a minute. Like,
they made a lot of effort with GG, actually. They made a lot of effort. They integrated it into games. They tried to get market makers to use it after, or to buy even after the fact. Like, it seemed like they were trying to move in that direction. They tried to engage creators. They did a lot of effort around it.
Sure. Effort was there. Horrible execution for a company that had a 9-figure war chest. Like, absolutely horrible execution.
Yes. And
this is factual. Like, they executed horribly. Whereas REKT, a lean team with a bootstrap budget, self-funded, like, they're working around the clock. Like, hard work matters. The team matters. And just because someone raised a bunch of funds doesn't mean they're a good leader. Doesn't mean they've ever ran a large organization before. Doesn't mean they've ever raised 9 figures before. And yeah, like, we can have extreme examples on both ends of the spectrum. But my point is, a good builder that's executing this playbook, it works, man. And so far, this is the only attempt of executing this exact playbook that we've even seen. Like,
well, right. I mean, like, they're all nuanced, but like the idea that a brand can drop a fungible token alongside of it and make it work. I mean, I agree. If it's somebody who can execute extremely well and be the exception to the rule, just like any other business, sure. Like, I don't disagree with that point.
I still think it's the exception. I think good people are going to find a way.
If you had to say successful brand coins in 12 months from now, like, so you think of maybe, like, say REKT and Pengu fit that bill, right? Which I don't know if Pengu 100% fits that bill, but let's say it does. Let's say REKT and Pengu do, because I like probably putting them both in that category. Let's say there's 2, okay? If you had to say successful brand coins of startups in 12 months from now, and the over-under is 12, are you taking the over?
Successful? Are you talking just strictly market cap, or what are you?
Sure, number. I mean, number going up. where the holders are happy. It's doing what REKT is doing from a it's driving the community. It's getting them excited. Like, what do you consider? Like, I mean, you could define success too. I think in this instance, the reason we think it's so successful is numbers going up. We wouldn't be talking about brand coins as this amazing thing if REKT was sitting at a $2 million market cap and wasn't doing well. Like, we weren't talking about REKT 6 months ago.
I was. People were before the numbers started ripping up. Like Like, go back.
My brother in Christ, look at the timeline now where everybody's bullish on REKT. I'm not talking about where individuals occasionally saying REKT exists. I'm saying the way people are talking about REKT right now, we were not talking about REKT 6 months ago. So
sure,
I guess
people were. The community hasn't wavered, man. That's my whole point. Is like, this didn't just happen out of thin air. They didn't just get lucky with this one. This is the result of 4 years of relentless effort. Like,
nobody's saying they got lucky. What I'm saying is, like, this was not the talk of the town 6 months ago. It just wasn't. And saying it was is just not true. We talked about REKT on this show when they gave equity, and I think we talked about maybe REKT coin like once before, like the past like 2 months, right? Like, probably before like the the drop that they did, right?
I talked about before this recent run up that arguably REKT is one of the best utility NFTs in terms of dividends and airdrops because of the utility, because of REKT coin. Like, that initial REKT coin allocation is thousands of dollars. Like, I did talk about this before it had this.
But you talked about the equity aspect of it on this show. We can check the tape.
And the token.
We barely talked about the token at all. Like, we barely talked about the token at all. And my point, like, the point being, like, it wasn't what it is now. And I'm asking, like, how many brand coins do you think do what they're doing now? Because right now, everybody's like, REKT and Pengu, those are my bets. Pack your bags. Like, they're like the NFTs of the cycle. And like Don Friend says, number go up above all their tech, has ever been, never will be, right? So, like, point being, like, how many brand coins do you think are executed this way? Like, I think, again, let me back it up and ask this way to make it like less of a sort of like trying to like move around discussion on things. Is your thought process that this is going to be one of the major metas going into the next cycle, and that we're going to see a strong execution of this from teams? And like is that the thought where it's like, maybe, because like we have, again, for every REKT and Pengu, we have an anime, we have a dude, we have ape, we have we have all of these tokens that exist in the wild that are theoretically, we had a milk token. Like, this isn't a new execution that you're doing. We've had like random businesses try to launch, or some whiskey brand that tried to launch and throw a coin alongside of it. I know a food delivery service that does some stuff that was doing some really cool gamification stuff, but they tried to launch a coin that wasn't working as well. So we've seen this poorly, I don't even want to say poorly executed. We've seen it not like GG exists. POW and Punks existed.
None of those are brand coins.
Well, Punks isn't, but GG was. GG was at first. Yes, it absolutely was.
Then our definition of brand coins is very different. I never once considered GG a brand coin. It's a shitty meme. And what did they do one thing about GG that made it a brand coin? Like, there was no loyalty reward. There's like not big. Everything that's working with REKT, they didn't do. And that's like, I think our definition of I think you think like, just because a brand launches a fungible token does not make it a brand coin.
So you only think a brand coin is, so then Pengu is not a brand coin by your definition yet. At least yet, they say it's going to be, but it's not. And it's really successful. So Pengu is not a brand coin by your definition. REKT is the only one.
I would consider Pengu a brand coin because of their vision and how they've described it and how they've held back a huge marketing budget. And that's part of the flywheel. Like, how
would you define a brand coin? Define a brand coin for me. Give me the elements of a brand coin in your definition.
I don't know. I'd have to think about it. Putting me on the spot.
But I guess the challenge with that is, like, if you're telling me like these aren't brand coins, but this is, and I'm like, well, how would you define that? And you're like, I don't know.
One piece is the loyalty reward program. Let's just
Pengu is not done. Pengu is not done.
To the extent they're going to. I'm taking Luca at face value. I'm saying I believe Luca's going to do what he said he's going to do. Therefore, I believe, yes, they're executing this brand coin model. It's just, there's not only one way. It's novel. REKT is the first one to really get behind and coin the phrase, lean into the narrative. Pengu, I believe, is seeing what's happening. Like, this is working. We should actually do what we said we're going to do. Like, I think this
Pengu has been distributed the exact same way as Dude and Anime. Like, it's been it's exactly the same. It was literally distributed exactly the same. They've done nothing with it other than that. Now,
Yeah, I couldn't agree. I couldn't not agree more. Like, dude, comparing that to REKT is like, it's
I'm
laughable.
not comparing it to REKT. I'm comparing it to Pengu. You said Pengu's a brand coin. Pengu has done nothing that REKT has done so far. They've said they're going to do stuff, but haven't. It was distributed exactly the same way. It's successful because people like Pudgy Penguins, and it's working, and they've done partnerships, and they've done a tremendous job executing. But calling it a brand coin,
Pengu has billions of gifts that they're branding Pengu with now as part of their brand. I haven't seen Dude branded anywhere since they launched Dude. In fact, I haven't seen them do anything with Dude other than, I guess, Lord of the Flies. Like, that's it. Like, they're just so far. Like, maybe some people think Dude's a brand coin, but you still have to execute it well, and it's been executed horribly. And like, to talk about ApeCoin and Azuki, like, maybe Anime Coin heads that way. I don't know. They've not said they're going to do all this yet. Ape is different. Ape is not a brand coin, really. It's just not a brand coin.
No, it's not. It's just it's I guess
very different things. Like it's like saying all NFTs are the same. Well, a PFP utility NFT is vastly different than a NFT ticket. Like, there's just like, not all fungible tokens are the same.
But I agree with that. But it feels like you're saying the successful ones are brand coins and the non-successful ones are not. And Pengu and Dude and Anime were.
We've only seen two really attempt what I envision to have components of the brand coin model. Now, could Anime do more of that? Sure. Could Dude do some of that? Sure. They haven't yet. They haven't even said they're going to do it. But I believe part of the brand coin is this flywheel of, you hold back a big chunk of the token for team allocation and marketing budget. That's a huge element of this. To do the stuff like when you buy something, you get tokens. Like we just showed with Oxy. Like, I don't know of any others that have done that. Pengu may not qualify because they haven't done that yet, but he said they're going to. So again, I just believing what he said he's going to do, and this will make it a brand coin. So if you want to say like the future state's a brand coin, but not here yet, okay, I'll give you that one. But I believe it's becoming a brand coin because of what they said they're going to do and their plans, what they plan to utilize it for. I don't know anyone else that's doing that right now.
But there have been examples of that. Like, again, I'll have to find the specific examples because you got to remember all the things that we thought were going to be. Like, there was some whiskey barrel thing that did that for a while and it didn't launch successfully, and they distributed and held it back for the team. There's been like I said, I can think of I can think of companies that are doing other things where they've distributed in a very similar manner as a rewards. And I think that it doesn't always work. It's worked well with these particular ones. I agree. Like, I mean,
I think it was just a pure meme and it's not a brand coin or not a brand coin yet. Then we have one brand coin. We have REKT. That's it. That's the only one that's.
But other ones have tried to do this same model and it just didn't work.
No, they haven't.
Cap, there are companies that have done it. They just failed and it didn't work. It just didn't work.
The model they attempted to execute was not like, to call Milk a brand coin. They didn't even do anything remotely. It was a gaming token. Like, it was just. Like,
I only brought that one up because you said Pengu's a brand coin, and I was going with the same ones that are distributed. So, like, depending on how loosely you define it, which is why I'm trying to box it in. Like,
right, so there's one. If you want to box it in, it's one. There's no one is executed.
One that's been successful.
What other?
I'll find examples of ones, but I'll find examples of other ones. But again, Devour, there's a company I'm working with that was distributing it as a loyalty rewards company. I'd worked with them at one point as a loyalty rewards for using their service where you were able to get NFTs when you were ordering food to kind of get special deals. They work with brands and special branded pages, and they were distributing it as a reward. It's been down because it hasn't been executed successfully as a coin. And so the team executing matters, but that's one specific example. But you can go with other examples where you can pull up, again, I got to find the whiskey one that was yeah, you get this. There have been plenty of companies that have said your reward will be distributed in token in this way for doing these actions. I just think REKT has executed at a really high level. I mean, if the contention is people who are really good at business will be the exception to the rule, just like they are in regular business, and they will execute this model well. Sure, there are some specific ones there, but I think, it's definitely been done before in spots. They've just done it really, really well. Like the whiskey one where people were putting NFTs on the whiskey barrels and you could stake the whiskey barrel and you got certain coin and you could use the coin. That was a brand coin, but it just didn't work. This one is working. Now, if the thought process is this model is going to be replicated and worked, and you think that the way they're doing it, you'll find other smart teams doing it, we could see. But if I do enough digging, I could probably find a dozen examples of ones who tried to do something similar, being your reward for doing this is you get some of the coin. The coin just didn't work.
Similar is not the same. I think like you could have a loyalty reward program that isn't necessarily a brand coin. And I'll put some thought to it and more clearly define. I would say just read the REKT paper. It does the best job of defining it. And I haven't seen another paper like that from any team. Like it's not all things are the same. I agree. No one has executed it like REKT. This is the first one that's really done it. And now I think we're going to see a lot more attempt to duplicate and replicate what they've done now that they have a roadmap that didn't exist before REKT. Like no one's done it to this level. No, maybe they had this thought of like, oh, this is going to be our thing. But I think what you're describing with the whiskey thing, it's just a loyalty reward program. It's just a token allocation. Like you buy this thing, you're going to get you're going to get a future airdrop. You're going to get a future claim. That's not new. I don't think that makes it necessarily a brand coin.
So yeah, and that's what I guess I want. And like, I'm not trying to box you in. I'm just trying to say, like, give me sort of the parameters and we'll see where it's been done before. And my question, like more so, and I know we have some hands, so this is a good there's always a good topic, is like, because I think REKT is executed extremely well, and I think it's the right situation. But my contention that we had this conversation was that it was a very Goldilocks situation. It was a founder who's active in the space with an actual great product, who's rewarding a token, who has an engaged community they built. And so it's like, yeah, like if the model is you're going to build this really great community and then you're going to have a physical product and then you're going to reward it as a physical product. Like, I think that's an interesting model that I'm saying, is that the thing now that memes like I had and this is unrelated, but you want to talk about people potentially doing it. I got a text from somebody. I got to be careful how I say this because I don't want to like overly dox like people IRL that I know. It's a person who I did not think was super into tech in any way, shape, or form. The wife is definitely not into tech, doesn't even have Facebook, has an old school phone or whatever, texted my wife and was like, hey, so-and-so wants Steve's number. They want to maybe potentially drop a meme coin. I'm like, oh man, retail's coming. This was a retail is coming sign. But if it's like, hey, this model could work for certain startup brands, like I'm not saying it can't, but I don't think it's a thematic thing as much as it's a thing that can work if a team executes it extremely well. I don't think it's novel to say like you're distributing a token. They're doing it in a specific way as a reward for buying and engaging with community and getting certain things. But yeah, like can it be executed? Sure. I just don't think like, I just need to hear like what the parameters on it and then who the ideal business is to execute on such a thing to make it work, because we've seen this sort of like model before, but I want to see what,
I don't think we've seen anything like this before.
Yeah, I mean, if you're saying like exactly 1000% the REKT paper, sure. Like we haven't seen a drink beverage company with a PFP and a community and these things, but that's making my point for me that it's the exception to the rule, not the rule. Like I don't know that it's
been the exception because it was the first. So I think because of the success it's having, because the success Pingu is having, I think you're going to see. I mean, we
just said Pengu is not a brand coin. We just said it's not a brand coin. We said we think it's going to be a brand coin based on what he said. But Pengu, again, is distributed the exact same way as Dude and all those other ones that we just talked about. It was distributed literally the exact same way, and that is the only thing. Right now, it's a great meme coin. Like, we can't say that success defines and make it a brand coin. Then you're moving the sticks. Either it is or it isn't. Like,
it's becoming a brand coin based on what they told us. Part of like the criteria is that you get a loyalty reward, a rebate. They said they're going to do this with it. I believe them that they're going to do it. If not, then yeah, just because it just stays a meme. It doesn't become a brand coin. I believe they're going to do it.
You can't say now. You can't say now.
When they do it, when they do the thing they said they're going to do, and it becomes a brand coin, it'll be the second one that's had success in this flywheel of a model. You're going to see a lot of other like, holy shit. Not only does number go up, look at the marketing budget that REKT and Pingu have now. And you're going to see a lot more in this flight to quality. I think it's just like, I'd say way over 12. But again, it's like, if you earlier said anime is not you use anime as an example of it's not successful. It's not a successful brand coin. Is that right? Did I interpret that correctly?
I would say like anime hasn't been successful based on the definition that most people would have. Yeah. Number down.
But just because it opened too high, it's still over $100 million market cap. That's insane. They created this huge market cap out of thin air because of their brand. Like it doesn't like, do they have to still execute the model? Yes. If anime opens up where REKT opened up and now it's 100 plus over 100 million, we're viewing it as success. I think part of it is expectations at launch are important because you don't want to open up at $4 billion and then 6 months later it's at 100 million. That seems like failure. But if you go tell a startup entrepreneur that here's this idea, this concept, this loyalty reward program that when you do it, you'll have a market cap of it on 100 million. You're going to hold back 80% of that. So you're going to have this massive marketing budget. That's massively successful. So it's like how we're defining success of a brand coin is difficult.
But even that doesn't quite work, because Pengu opened up at billions, and you're saying that's a brand coin, a successful brand coin, but it opened up way too high and then dumped. So it's like, if the model, so I'm being dead serious here. The model is you build a really strong community, one, because that's the two things the common are. Number two is you release physical products or digital products potentially. Like if there's, skins in a game or something, I could see it working that way, right? Where that's the reward that you get. Number three is you launch a token where you hold a bunch back and you reward based on purchases of that. And number four is you manage the coin obviously really well. Like, they know what they're doing with the coin and the tokenomics and things. Like, they're not like noobs here. But like, you're basically saying you have to build a brand for a period of time that is a community that doesn't have any product first. And then after you build the product, you launch a product, or build the brand, you launch a product, and then you do it as a reward. Because that's sort of the thing they have in common. Like, I'm trying to look at the things that they have. You're talking about a physical distribution with a reward, and you have to build the community first. Because the reason they're both successful, I would argue, is the communities that they've built around them. REKT was successful because the community is so awesome and was awesome, and they gave them equity, and they're invested in it and all those things. So I'm trying to figure out like what the outlay for this, if somebody wanted to create it, right? It would have to be like Doodles when they distribute like things like this. You would like scan it and you would get a portion of dude in, because they've already built the community and that stuff. Is that the kind of idea you're thinking? Is you build a community for a extended period of time that is genuinely there, and then you launch a physical product, and then that's the reward?
That's one route. That's the best execution we've seen so far. But I'm not saying it's the only way.
But that's like the model as we know it, right? Because I'm not certain. I think what the magic secret sauce for them is the community. Like, that is the secret sauce for them. So if that's the secret sauce and the equity that they gave out that gets them specifically invested in it as well. So if that's,
like, I think Pawns could do this. He's in position to do this. I don't know if he's going to, but I think Pawns absolutely could do this with Zeet if he wanted to. Like, so it's like, I don't know how, like, I'd have to think, like, I don't even know how you'd incorporate a brand coin with InfoFi. But my point of like, he did give equity to frog holders. There is still a very vibrant community. And I think partially, like, where I'm going with this is, I think some of these that have built credibility, trust, a following, I think they could launch their next business, their next brand with a brand coin from the jump, because of that social cred, because of that community they built, even if it's under a new brand. Yeah, it's a discussion I want to continue to have, because I want to figure out what this is. Because like, my worry is like, what would you consider a successful brand coin then? Because I don't think it's just market cap. Because by definition, then an anime over 100 million is not successful. Like, I just like for some businesses, if it's like, if pump.fun launched a brand coin, like, it's going to be a failure. Anything below billions, most are not. Like, it's just unrealistic for most, and I don't think most. It's like we talked about your established corporate Fortune 500s probably doesn't make sense to launch a brand coin. I think it's much more in the startup world, and part of the magic of the flywheel is your earliest supporters stand to win the biggest. So when you get an allocation or a claim for your case of drinks that you bought that was $70 of token that a year later becomes $2,500, like, that's part of this flywheel. Is the lower market cap opening so that your earliest supporters actually can win big. Something opens up at many billions of dollars. It's just hard to do that. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it's like, I think the whole purpose of building the community first, like, the only thing I would say, I think what makes this successful is the community as one, a vested interest. Most people aren't going to give out equity, right? It would be cool if people did, right? Most brands aren't. Why won't most brands give out equity in their company? It's just, I don't think it's a bad idea. Based on what we're seeing with REKT, I think you can make an argument it's a hell of a lot better than doing these KOL deals. Way more effective. Yeah, I agree. I know. And we're giving up equity in those. Like these early friends and family, these KOL, like, they're giving they're selling 10, 20% equity in those raises. Way more effective to have 1,000, loyal brand ambassadors that your marketing army. Way more effective because the KOLs they're just dumping their token and moving on to the next. They're mercenary capital. Whereas like these 1,000 equity holders, it's missionary capital. That didn't sound right.
We'll get Joey in here in a second. I'll just say, like, Pons gave out equity and it didn't do the same thing that we saw for REKT in the same way, right? Like, I know he has a lot of attention, but like, I have theoretically equity and, the plague, but I haven't seen that executed. Didn't do a lot for grind, when that dropped, but that's a meme coin. So I don't know. It's just, I think like, I think it's like we could see it executed. I think the problem is I think my contention I come up with this is I think the one, it's like an exception to the rule versus other ones. Two, very specifically defined, which I don't think metas can be very specifically defined. But three, I think if it is a more broad meta, it's based on the fact that you have built a strong community and given them a vested interest for a while versus I don't think it's the type of thing you can just spin up and make work, right? Like, I think
this is the question. I don't know the exact answer to this. This is the $1 million, potentially $1 billion question.
Yeah.
For those not on the screen, Von Front says, so back to my question the other day, what do you need to have in place before TGE to launch a successful brand coin? And then what needs to be true after TGE to sustain it?
When I'm answering that, I think based on what we're saying and putting parameters around this, before TGE, you must build a strong community that is extremely vested in there. So like, I could see a world where Spencer does this with OCG and Moonbirds, right? It's like you've built a strong community. It's worked really well. You have a strong leader. You're getting a cult-like following. You have popularity, and you're like, so before TGE, you need to be a strong brand that you have built over time with an authentic community. After TGE, you need to have a great product that people actually want, because like if we were just doing the REKT thing and we're like, these drinks suck and OSF isn't on the timeline and we don't like this and whatever, but it's like there's all these elements that have to do with it. And like OSF's popularity is part of it because people really like him. The product's really good. Like there's a lot of elements that go into it, which is why I think it's like, I think it is a hard model to replicate. I'm not saying it can't be replicated. Moonbirds, V-Friends, those are the ones that come to mind if we're talking about ones that could do it well, right? Like Moonbirds and V-Friends. But I guess that's my point, is like it feels very specific, doable, but you have to, like, I don't think a company coming in right now as a startup is like, I'm going to do a brand coin. I don't think you get loyal people from the start. I don't think it goes the same way. Joey Vowles, go ahead and get in here, GM.
GM, guys. This is a really fun conversation. As somebody who worked in and owned a business in retail, and, you relate this back to a lot of things that I did and a lot of other businesses have done, right? Like, again, we talk about how Reebok has a loyalty point system, and right, like all these companies that exist out there, Nike and have these point systems, and how you can earn rewards, and how it's evolving into now what we, on chain with a token. But I guess for me, the one thing I wanted, before I commented, I had a question. Because in this space, we tend to call a lot of things meme coins, right? So what is the original definition of a meme coin, right? It was a token that was derived from in some type of internet cultural moment or something, right? So has that now evolved to where if it's not a Bitcoin or something like that, everything it just falls into the meme coin category? What is the definition of a meme coin today?
I think it's I'm trying to find A16Z 7 types of coins. I think they did a good job with it. They did a good defining tokens. I'm trying to find their specific definition, which I will defer to them, but I'm trying to find the quick meme. Meme. So they define meme coins as Meme coins are tokens without intrinsic utility or value, often tied to an internet meme or community-driven movement, not fundamentally tied to a network, company, or application. Meme coins prices are purely driven by speculation and associated market forces, which makes them highly susceptible to manipulation. Their central features are the lack of intrinsic purpose. If they have a purpose, they would no longer be meme coins. Lack of utility and the resulting zero-sum nature of volatility. Meme coins are generally excluded from U.S. security laws, though they are still subject to anti-fraud and manipulation laws. Examples: Pepe, Sheeb, Trump. So that's the definition I tend to go by. Now, I think we go a little fast and loose with it because, memes are like, people, I think we use meme coins the same way we use a lot of terms in this space that get a little more wide. But that would be, I would defer to them for the definition on meme coin. And which is one of the reasons why I sometimes say, like, is Pudgy even a meme coin? Because there's utility to it. You can tip, you can do some stuff with it,
That's my
etc.
follow-up question. Does Pengu actually fit into that definition as a meme coin?
Well, it depends how you define it, because yes, it's used for tipping, but Pudgy Penguins hasn't put utility against it. Abstract, now it's a subsidiary of Igloo, so you can have discussions there, made it so you can give it to people on streams, but that's just a matter of just the tech's open source, and in theory, you could tip Pengu in many, many ways. So the question is, does that really change it that much if that's the only use case? Sorry, Cap, your thoughts on that.
But there was a definition. I mean, there was a part of that you were reading in there where it said not tied to a business, correct?
I'd have to look back specifically, but
I think there was a portion in there where it mentioned not where it specifically said not connected to, tied to a business in what you read, and that's where I don't see Pengu as a meme coin because it is connected to a overarching business, which is Pudgy Penguins, right? Like, to me, I look at a meme coin. And again, I also agree with the A16Z. A meme coin to me is just a random token that was launched by some random whoever, right? That's connected to something cultural or some type of internet meme or whatever.
Yeah.
I think go ahead.
You're not wrong. Not every meme coin is going to be a brand coin. Not every meme coin is going to be a utility coin. I believe the best performing coins, utility, gaming, loyalty rewards, I believe the best tokens will masquerade as meme coins. I've been saying this since the AI agent coin boom. They can be both. Like, REKT is not just a meme coin, but it's a meme. It's
well, that was what I was going to say too. REKT started as a REKT is a meme, right? It's the abbreviation that we use in the space of WREKT, right? So technically, the whole REKT brand started as a meme, and it evolved into something bigger.
Yep, I think just as back to the NFT comparison, not all NFTs are equal. They're far from it. They're very different. Same thing with meme coins. There's a wide variety of meme coins. Some are just pure meme, nothing else tied to it whatsoever. It's just a pump.fun shitter that is someone is memeing a viral moment. I just believe that the best performing, I mean, even if you look at Ape is a utility token, a governance token, was a governance token, not anymore. Ape is still a meme. Like, to get the widest audience, the meme matters. The tickers matter. But they're not all the same. Not every meme coin is going to be a brand coin, but I believe most brand coins, at least the good ones, are going to be a meme.
Yeah. Let's
and what leads me to what I was actually going to comment on with this, because you were mentioning dude and anime and stuff like that. For me as a consumer, in order for something to be a brand, there has to be a direct connection, right? So I see dude as a brand coin because I can visually see a connection to doodles, right? Pengu, I see it as a brand coin because I can see a connection to Pudgy Penguins. Things like anime coin, I don't see as a brand coin, and that's my branding brain, because if Azuki wanted it to be a brand coin, I don't think they would have named it anime coin. I think they would have named it whatever, Zuki or a zoo, or right, like something that directly ties to their overarching brand. They chose Anime Coin because I believe they wanted to transcend Azuki and Azuki's ecosystem. So I don't view Anime Coin as a brand coin. Now, to Steve's point, I think there have been a lot of brand coins in our space. There's been a lot of NFT projects that have tried to launch a token that when you looked at them side by side, there was that visual and mental connection of, oh, that definitely belongs to that business, right? So I think for me, as somebody who has worked in marketing and branding and all that stuff, like you have to sit down and consider, like, what is the first thought when people see this? Like if, for example, at Beezy, if we launched a token that was called, you know, the TCG token, you wouldn't look at that token and say, oh, that's definitely Beezy's token because, you know, they're a TCG company and their token is TCG. No, if we launched a token and called it like bees or honey or I don't know, right? Like then you would look at the connection and say, oh yeah, that's branded for there to be a connection. So that's my opinion on like whether something is a quote unquote brand coin or not. I don't know what you guys think, but I think there has to be some type of initial connection when you look at that.
Let's do this, Cap. I think we both have a little bit of homework off this. I am going to dig in on the REKT paper a little more and see where it makes sense. Obviously, like I agree with Joey that there's been some other attempts at something like this, but REKT is laying out a specific model. You're going to think about what a brand coin is from your perspective on that, sort of how you do it, because, you know, we'll see what the look and feel is and how it makes sense. And then we can come back to this at a future date, because I think I want to see what this model is and if it could be successful. I think REKT is a very specific exception to the rule on a lot of things because there are a lot of specific things. But I also think that, again, like Moonbirds or VFriends could do the same thing because they have spent years building a brand and could do a similar thing with their products. And Gary could say, you buy this sweatshirt, you tag it, you get some of the V-Coin. Like, so let's think about what that looks like and what the criteria are. I think that community building part is a huge part of it. I think the equity part is an awesome discussion about it, where it's like that's the optional, like, choose your own adventure part that could really soup it up. But I think we need to think about like
if
what
Gary
it
wants
is.
to buy Jets, he should gift equity to his earliest VFriends supporters and drop the VFriends brand coin.
Yeah, and I think that's the discussion, is like what it looks like. I think it's so specific that we need to figure out what it is before we say it's like a new meta, because to me, a new meta, it's like launching NFTs for a loyalty program. Like anybody could theoretically do that with a really good idea and people might invest in it. I think the coin requires that sort of special sauce that we've talked about with a few specific people. So let's do some homework on that. We have a couple of things we got to get to. I know we got Bunchu coming up here at 9. We got a daily market update. We got to do some BZ claw polls that we talked about yesterday, which we'll give another go at, and we'll see if it's my machine. And if it doesn't work today, I will restart the machine, and we will definitely do it tomorrow, and we will do the whole troubleshooting piece. And we definitely got to talk Pixel Vault, but maybe we could talk Bunchu half hour and get Pixel Vault in the back half of the show, because I know we have a lot of thoughts on that. But it's funny. B Epic said, Steve, you need to change your Mintify to Gigaverse. Best game on Abstract. I bet they would have a successful coin down the road. I think there's going to be a proof of play token at some point down the road is my guess. And I can't change my badge unless they're hiring me to have a badge. So Mintify is our marketplace of choice, and they gave us the badges. But conversation.
They already had token. No,
what's that? They have Pirate. So they have Pirate. But there's a lot of speculation that proof of play as an ecosystem is going to be able to reward tokens, because proof of play powers Death Fun, they power Gigaverse, they have their randomization, their RNGs that they do on chain. That's really, really powerful. And there's a lot of speculation. In fact, Payne, when we had him up to interview Dith, actually asked him about that, and he got a little on the spot about it before he was doing the Gigaverse thing. So they power a lot of ecosystems, and I think there's some speculation that a lot of people have that proof of play is going to launch a second token. There's a Pirate token, Pirate Nation, Meme, etc., and then proof of play would have their own token. So especially hiring Beast, which we haven't even hit on, that could be a indicator there. Do you want to do BZ claw polls, daily market update? What do you want to hit through? Or do we want to go Pixel Vault and just do all that second half of the show?
Let's talk on a quick update.
Okay, I'll do update, get it here, and find our new improved update.
The daily market update straight to your brain. Powered by ApeCoin, no hype, just gains. Moving on 8chain, we bringing the heat. NFT fence alpha, never miss a beat. 8chain on top, now we bringing the flex. The home of NFTs, these now what's next? Come on, my head top, but you want the time to chop off for one time.
It is time for the Daily Market Update powered by ApeCoin, the home of NFTs. ApeChain has it all, bringing culture, fun, and community to the blockchain. Dive in and see why ApeChain is on top. Cap.
Yes, sir. We're going to start with actually my favorite website, and then an update to it because it's so fresh off the press. It's not even updated. We saw another positive day on the ETF front, 88,000 net inflows yesterday to continue the green July. And beyond that, we have, looking at the list here, the top strategic ETH reserves, it's showing today SharpLink, Bitmine, ETH Foundation, still 1, 2, 3. What you're not seeing come through yet is Bitmine, that when that updates next, it'll go from 1.1 billion to over 2 billion in ETH. So doubling up their strategic ETH reserve. Meanwhile, while it does catapult them above SBEC currently, remember Joseph Lubin's out there raising $5 billion more to buy more ETH. So these two, as we mentioned, this leapfrogging each other at the top of the Bitcoin, or excuse me, at the top of the strategic ETH reserve companies. This race here is going to not only be good for, just simply thereby pressure alone. I think this is a major catalyst in this strategy, this ETH strategic reserve companies. Right now they're far and away the two leaders that are going after this most aggressively. I think it's going to spur on many more of these. But that said, back to our daily market update brought to you by ApeChain. Looking at NFTs today, Pudgy's down 2.8% to 15.94. Apes up 1% to 12.62. Little Pudgy's down 3.49% to 165. DX Terminal, that's at OpenSea Farm. Moonbird's pulled back 11% to 1.57. Milady's up 2.6%, 275. Mutant Apes flat at 1.8. Be careful. I saw another fake mutant collection trending on OpenSea. I don't know why that's happening now, but hopefully they can fix that. Just be extra careful. Make sure you're buying the actual official collection. Doodle's flat at 1.06. Crypto Dick Butts down 2%. And Kaido Genesis NFTs down 9%. I'm going to kick myself if this does turn around because I wanted one for a long time. My conviction in Kaido is fading. Not that they've lost it yet. I fear that their window is closing. I mentioned Zeet and Pawns a little bit ago. We've obviously got Wall Chain and Cookie and others in that arena. More coming. And they continue to kind of fumble announcements and updates. And we'll see. I'm still rooting for it. Still have my Kaido staked, but my desire to hold one of those Kaido Genesis NFTs is waning. Doge down 6%. Sheeb down 7%. Pepe down 8%. Bonk up 3% on the day. Not pictured here is pump.fun got murdered yesterday. Let me get you the exact price because the people did not like Elon's interview with Thread Guy. It's now down to, is this the right one? Down to just over $1 billion market cap. FDV is at 3 billion. Is that right?
That sounds right.
Gonna give up. I mean, at this pace, it's going below. It's going below $1 billion today, most likely. I just showed you the REKT chart. This looks a little different. This is the pump chart. I should have shorted it. I should have broke my rule of shorting it. I actually opened a long, did okay, closed the long, and I should have immediately rotated into a short because it is pretty bloody. If you missed it, Thread Guy hosted Elon yesterday, and I think what led to yesterday's sell-off was he confirmed airdrop is coming, but not coming anytime soon, and the market did not like that. Down 17% on the day, while Bonk up 5%, and I don't know where it goes from here. It's going to be interesting, but down, pump enjoyers down bad on the sell off, and I think I hope OpenSea is paying attention.
I mean,
you
OpenSea's got to have a plan.
Reward your loyalist supporters, reward your earliest supporters, prioritize them. If not, you're going to lose. Like we talked about, how about successful brand code? You got to have community. You got to have those loyal supporters, those brand ambassadors. Like they'll support you, they'll be patient, but man, you give away, you do a big TGE, you bring in billions of dollars, and then you don't reward them. I understand the strategy of why delay it to prevent sell-offs, but man, I think there's probably people who would have held their claim or their airdrop. I think after now the frustration's mounting, they're more and more probably just likely to sell that thing. And it, I don't know where it goes from here, but it's also not lost on me that pump.fun with this raise or this token sale was claiming to, be the death nail to Twitch and Facebook and I don't know what else they said. TikTok.
A lot of people were loving the narrative that they were dropping. And remember on this show, I was like, I'm not buying. The executional risk is kind of down there. I don't necessarily think it's going to go up. I couldn't get in the pre-sale if I wanted to. And if I could, I don't really want to take the shot. Like, I'm not trying to be like look, I'm wrong all the time. This is one where I saw this coming and I said that valuation was really, really high. And I heard from tons of people who were like, oh my God, but if this is valued at this and pump.fun does this, how could pump.fun not be? 10 billion is coded. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know, man. Like you're going to
I didn't see much of that. I didn't see many bulls except for the ones that were getting paid allegedly $90,000 to not disclose they're getting paid by pump. My time on was mostly people there's a few that I guess are down on the trade, but I think most, and what I saw, thought it was, maybe go up a little bit, but I didn't see any calls for 10 billion or the crazy. But the point being is they're claiming
I'm gonna have to pull the tape. You might have called 10 billion. I'm gonna check the tape on this one.
Maybe in the short term, but I didn't expect it to be a long term. It's just they're. I mean, back to the point. What I was trying to get out is he does a Twitch stream yesterday with Thread Guy, draws 50,000 plus viewers, and doesn't even stream it on his own streaming platform. To me, I listened to the interview and I was just not impressed with. Doesn't seem like it was some buzzwords and the things you think they want to hear. It also seems like when he's talking I'm talking with the top trenchers, talking with Tecupsy and Orangey and these people that have made millions of dollars, not their actual majority of their users. And seems like they've lost sentiment pretty quickly, even from their diehard fans. Those are active in the ecosystem. And the fact that our big push is on streaming and they don't even stream the big interview yesterday on their own platform, I think that's a little telling. But who knows? They do have a $2 billion war chest, so they could turn some stuff around. But Bonk is taking their lunch right now.
I also, to your point, wonder how many of those people were paid when they were pushing this whole thing. But there was some positive people on this thing. It was a very positive sentiment. It's 12 minute pre-sale sell, and it's man, if you do a pre-sale to a bunch of people whose entire platform is predicated on getting out before the next person in a game of hot potato on early market caps, who possibly saw them selling and tanking the token? It's
FFE did.
Yeah, I mean, same. And it was funny. Even when it launched, there were people who were like, "Oh, sellers in disbelief," and that other thing. I know FFE shorted it. It was I don't know. This is one that I thought was, could have gone one way or the other. I know you talked about the potential asymmetric upside. And it's look, if this is the downside, but the upside is really high, and that's just playing the gamble, right? That's playing the wide receiver that gets more play against a certain team. It was the same concept. So I don't think you were saying oh my God, it's the greatest thing on the planet. But there were a lot of people who were saying, 10 billion this. There was and now I wonder, to your point, when I see people saying, I don't know if it's true or not, that a lot of people were paid to talk about this thing. I wonder what that looks like. But this is one I was very comfy staying out of. I was very comfy not even thinking about, and I was happy to, potentially miss this one. By the way, on your Kaido Yapibara comment, I did yesterday start the unstaking process for all my Kaido. So next week I'll get that back and I'll put it elsewhere. And
7-day cooldown.
7-day cooldown. And I'm out on it. I saw a small distribution coming for some random, thing for State Kaido. And I'm just like, you know what? Like, I'm over this game. I'm over like waiting for these little like $20 to $100, like, which are great. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, airdrops like that are great if it can potentially work, but you're hoping for them. There's no guarantee. And yeah, it's earning a little bit of yield, but it's going down. It's not I'm never going to be a top yapper. Like, maybe there's a time when I'll be a top yapper if I get more run on certain things, but like, I don't think that I'm going to be a top yapper who's going to get like those payouts over there. And I don't see a purpose in staking it. And I don't think they've managed it super well there.
Got distracted. Back to the finish up this market update real quick, and then we'll move along. Rune's really bloody day. Majors, Bitcoin flat, ETH down 1%, XRP down 8%, Solana down 5%, Doge down 6%, Cardano down 6%, a little bit of pullback. It's never up only unless it's REKT, but that's our daily market update brought to you by ApeChain. ApeChain on top, the home of NFTs, and Spotlight Season 2 is winding down. To get over there, it's on my agenda today to see if I can grind my way to the top 100. Machiavelli, last thing on Pump, says it was one of the most successful startups until it wasn't. And I said that yesterday. How are you going to have a streaming platform, not utilize your own platform? It's still arguably the most successful startup of all time. Just their token price being down doesn't take away the billions of dollars they brought in their first essentially year of existence. I don't know anyone else that there's maybe a handful, very, very, very short list that are even in that conversation in terms of revenue generated in their first year.
Yeah, it's definitely still successful, but it's like that. The reason why I pointed is like that was part of the argument that everyone was having. They're like, most successful startup ever, and you don't want to get in this coin. Like, enjoy fading it and on. And like, I think that was so. I think there was a lot of narratives. Again, don't know what was paid and what wasn't paid at this point because there is some rumors about like stuff being potentially paid there. But yeah, like that's one that is just. I'm happy to be out of that trade and out of that world. And I'm comfy, buying REKT and things. And buying REKT is a lot more fun than some of the other stuff that exists in this space. So it's more fun than some of the other options that we have going. But let's do this. Let's do Bunch.
You on stage too, by the way.
Oh, of course. Let's do this. I'm going to take a lap from the X space. We're gonna go Bunch you. We're gonna talk some AI. He's gonna give us a demo. One of two demos from our text message this morning. We'll see which one he chooses. And then we will jump into Coffee with Captain and talk Pixel Vault on the back half of the show. So you're going to want to stick around. 3 $50 claws we're going to give away to some listeners, Jambert Husker, and I can't remember if it was Drew or the other one, but we'll talk about that. And we're going to have, I think Cap's going to get spicy. So you're going to want to stick around because I think when we get Pixel Vault, I feel like Cap's going to get spicy. We'll see, potentially.
Tune in now, it's fire brain time. Hot topics and thoughts so prime. Hit that play, no need to mind. Feel the heat in every rhyme. Fire brain, ignite the night. Fire brain, we're burning bright.
Hello, good sir. Good to have you on. Good to have you on. I know you said AI news was light this morning, but you're thinking about giving us a demo. So honestly, I'm just going to hand you the sticks. Hit us with any sort of news that is out there in the wild as an update for now. And then let's jump right into it because I'd love to see, I think you were going to demo the browser, right? Like we're going to have that because you're the whale paying for the big.
So we were speculating browser, but last week what we ended up getting was ChatGPT agent, which I actually haven't even gotten to try. So we're going to try it all together, which will be fun. And I think you'll enjoy my prompt and we'll just see what happens. However, I did lie. There was some AI news that happened yesterday that I kind of forgot was happening until I checked my stuff this morning. But yesterday, President Trump gave a big, huge speech, the biggest speech, the most beautiful speech that ever lived on the US's plan for AI. So they released yesterday, the White House released a 24-page blueprint called America's AI Action Plan. Yeah, so just, no news. Totally light on that. There's nothing.
America's AI action plan sounds pretty important.
It also sounds like they maybe used ChatGPT agent to create it. It's like, come on.
No. Actually, I was gonna say they probably just similar to how they did their tariff math. They probably did that as well. So not shocking, but any parts of that are noteworthy before we do the demo?
Yeah. So there was. So this was like executive orders. He signed 3 accompanying executive orders yesterday at this AI summit in Washington, and it replaces a bunch of the stuff that actually came out during the Biden era with a more growth first type of approach. So the big picture here is kind of like they are full speed ahead on innovation. Like they are not stopping. So they're basically allowing for companies to be able to build and launch AI and AI products faster. So there's pros and cons of this depending on which side you sit on, right? I think the pros are like people think if we I don't know if you guys remember this, but a year and a half ago or whatever, like GPT-4 times, remember there was and now I think it's hilarious, by the way, Elon and some other folks, some MIT professors and stuff put out that open letter to put this 6-month growth ban or development ban on AI and slow it down. And now you've got Elon going Mecha Hitler and the AI companion waifu girlfriends, which I think is funny, but we were almost there and now it's the total opposite. So it's full speed ahead. I think people are, hey, if we're not doing this, China's going to beat us, et cetera, et cetera. They put in a bunch of plans to build more hard infrastructure. So more data centers, chip fabs, power lines, all inside the US and for quick acceleration. And then just more kind of U.S. leadership and AI across the board, more U.S. made or not made, but U.S. kind of chips, models, software, all of that kind of stuff. And so there's a lot of deregulation stuff in here. So fewer rules, move faster type of stuff. The representative actions for that were order federal agencies to list regs that hinder AI and repeal or rewrite them. So that's pretty interesting. I think you're just going to start to see people do crazy things very fast. More infrastructure, so making it cheap and quick to run AI inside the US, package US AI and sell it overseas, which is potentially interesting.
I love that idea. That's like a interesting package USAI. And so they're basically saying we want to be the kings of outsourcing this.
Yeah. Because if you're not, China probably is, right? Or somebody else is. And I think there's there's something to be said about that, right? We even see it within our own AI labs, right? You've got, I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was all the Grok 4 stuff. Did you guys see kind of how that all unfolded with, the crazy Grok going off the rails, but then what was kind of uncovered with that, where they came out, XAI came out and kind of gave a synopsis of what happened. It was this extra piece of code that basically was accelerating views from X that were not necessarily its own. And part of that came out that it was checking to see what Elon would think on the thing first. And so that is a very interesting thing, right? It's who decides truth? And that's kind of a thing we kind of talk about all the time with these underlying, lab built models versus, what you guys were talking about with, Jesse the other day with open source and all of that kind of stuff. But so we're seeing that within our own 5 US mega labs. So imagine what other countries building this stuff, that kind of impact it could have, right? So I think that's potentially interesting. Government will only buy unbiased AI was listed in here. Okay, so that kind of plays against the same concept. And there's a bunch of stuff in here about like upskilling government workers and civil servants. So get like the TLDR there is get every civil servant and contractor using AI, and then just kind of trying to keep it as a bipartisan thing. So lots of pro AI acceleration stuff here. And if you like read the chatter on Twitter from like the AI influencery type of folks and thought leaders, it felt like a very, we're going full speed ahead, buckle up, and it's time to ride. So yeah, really, really interesting stuff. But before we chat any more about this, I'm going to start this demo because I'm not sure how long it will take. I want to kind of watch it. We're going to watch it happen in real time. So let's start it in case it does end up taking a minute. So here you go. So if you go into ChatGPT now, I think the Plus plan has it too. I think the $20 a month plan has it.
Can you give this a zoom, perhaps, like a Command plus a couple, just to see if it goes in? It may not work on ChatGPT. I can't remember if it zooms well or not. Yeah, give it like one more, maybe.
Okay.
There you go. Oh, I already see the words Happy Valley, and I see something happening.
Yeah. So inside ChatGPT, you can now select here your tools. So if you went in here and you have your tools, you can always select from like deep research, connectors, create your image, web search, canvas. And now there's this new agent mode. And it looks like on the pro plan, I didn't even realize this. It looks like you're getting 400 queries a month if you're on the $200 a month plan. So it's probably like 50 a month.
How do you see that? Oh,
so
40. You got 40 on the $20 a month plan. It's 40.
40. Okay.
So we got
that's pretty cool.
Too.
Cool. That's cool. So as long as you're on the $20 a month plan, you can use this. Say that again.
Yours is 400. Okay, got it.
Yeah, 400.
They should have made that scale differently. You should have gotten like 700 or something, so they encourage more people to do it. That's weird marketing, but yeah.
I'm surprised. Like the deep research. How many do you get on deep research, Cap? I think Pro is 250.
24 left. So I probably used one so far.
Okay, so it's 10 per. It seems
that's
like
weird that they proportionately do that. That doesn't make sense. That's a horrible sales and marketing model. But in any case, so
it should be what? Yeah, it should be like way higher, right?
I tell you what, this is sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
This right here, like when you hover over agent or those tools, agent mode, deep research, create image, web search, canvas, 1,000,000 times better than ChatGPT 4.0, ChatGPT 3, ChatGPT, like the 7 different ChatGPT models that.
Well, that's still up here.
So, but I think just putting it there in the tools, and again, people are still going to need to understand that, but it's like they still need to figure out something different with the naming.
Well, the tools. So to your point, like the tools use these underlying models. So they're like choosing their own. So they're built with these models under the hood. So you don't actually have to go and see. Actually, it's funny when I select this, model selector is gone. So it is selecting for me in agent mode what it's going to use. And actually, to your point, Cap,
your average user, way better.
Totally.
Because you're actually going to get more out of it. Like, how many people are using ChatGPT don't even know those models exist, and they're using the wrrong models for what they're doing. Now it's much more.
Word on the street, rumor on the street is for GPT-5, it's basically that's going to go away, and it's going to be kind of like either this unified model or a router in which it kind of chooses the model that's best for your task on the fly. Which is cool. But so and I don't know if you know this, you can actually also connect a bunch of sources here now too. So, I would be careful what you connect and what you give it access to. It's probably really fun to play around. I have not connected any of my stuff here for, security reasons and things like that.
You don't want to give it access to your box. That's
yeah. I usually
that's
make
the other
people
demo.
Take me out. Yeah, I usually make people take me out to dinner first for that. But we've got you can connect your box and your GitHub and your Canva. Canva probably harmless, but some of these like where your data is or like my GitHub where all of our projects live and stuff, probably not a good idea. But I think it would be really fun to test. Like if you have a test email or something, I I would love to set it loose in like a test email
I
account.
think
and
I'm
see
going to
what
list on my
happens.
email. I don't get anything in there. I'm trying to hide. I would love like when are they going to connect it to X in my? When can I set this thing loose on my X DMs in
Hell
group
yeah.
chat?
Oh,
yeah,
man.
yeah. I mean, Grok will definitely be able to do that. You just better be careful it doesn't respond to everybody as role-playing waifu. All right, so we're gonna start this. So I've got Agent here. I haven't used this yet. I've been waiting for the time. I haven't had time, and
The
so
first
what
real
better?
live demo, huh? Like demo for you as well.
Yeah, I literally haven't used it yet. So while we're watching this work, I'll bring up like another Twitter thread on like what other people are doing with this too. But so I just came up with a prompt. I'm going to Penn State versus Oregon college football game on the September 27th at Happy Valley. I'm trying to pitch the trip to some friends to come along. Help me do the following. Find 4 tickets to the game under $350 a ticket. Find me an Airbnb we can stay at that's within a budget for Friday and Saturday, the 26th and 27th. The Airbnb must be within 20 miles of Beaver Stadium. Find me some new gear from Home Field Apparel for the whiteout, and put all of this in a presentation to send to my friends to convince them to come with the tone of this will be the best fucking thing you've ever done in your life. So let's see how it works. And we're going to send this. I don't even know what it's supposed to do. So we'll see. I might have to zoom out, but so what it actually does here, can you see this good or is it?
Yeah, it's going. Who are you planning to send this pitch deck to?
I just made this up, but I'll send me your email. You can come too.
I unironically kind of want to go to this game.
Oh, like, dude, it's going to be so good.
Like I unironically, like I saw that and I was like, actually, I could be convinced because that's on my bucket list of stadiums. And we talked about this forever ago. I know you got to pull up the thread and things like that. We had talked about this forever ago, but I had this thought process where I wanted to be like, if I was rich, I would spend a fall going to check off all the stadiums, wearing the home gear, go to a game in Tuscaloosa in Bama gear, go to a game in Death Valley in LSU gear, go to a game in Austin in Texas gear, and just experience the whole thing. Penn State's on that list, obviously. So
hell yeah, we should definitely do a Penn State game. So what's happening here though is, okay, so it says, got it. I'll start by finding 4 tickets, then I'll look for the Airbnb. So it's planning here. And what my best understanding so far of this agent is basically it's a combination of the deep research agent and the computer use / operator agent that they had, right? So what you're seeing on the screen, this is crazy. So it opens up its own computer, its own browser, and you're watching it right now navigate through its own computer. And so like, look, Ma, no hands. This is not me doing this, but so you can see kind of what it's going through. It's now looking for the Airbnb. It's searching the web for rentals. I mean, this is kind of wild to watch, is it not?
It's incredible. I mean, this is like, so yesterday, again, here's an exact use case. Yesterday we had some friends over, which we now affectionately call the Vacation Alliance, which was like my crew of folks that we went to Hilton Head with. Plus, there's another couple that couldn't make it with their kid. We actually had this conversation of, do we want to run Hilton Head back because it was really great, or do we want to give each family a budget to work within and say this, and basically they could do the whole planning because he had friends who had done this. Sort of, we do this thing. It's a vacation version of we do a thing. I don't know if you ever play this game. You take Spotify, you start with A, you find a song or an artist that starts with A, add to queue, hand it to another person, nobody knows what's coming, do B. And you basically run the Spotify playlist all the way through everyone in the party, and then it goes through.
That's fun.
Version of this, but with a vacation where each year one of the families plans it. They say, this is where we want to go. Everybody says yes. You give them a set budget that you work within, et cetera, et cetera. This would make my life easy because I could get like a dozen options where I could be like, this is our budget, this many families. I want a house that has this many people. I want to have this many master baths. Like, you could do this thing where I could ask it those specific parameters. And then it's not me spending hours on Airbnb. I send this sucker to work. I go off and ride my bike and I come back and I have 10 options like that. This is very, and that's like a very specific use of a very practical, broad sweeping technology. But this sort of agent, it's huge. Like, this is a massive, and that's like, so can you pull up the thread and show us what other people are using it for? Because now my mind's starting to explode.
Yeah, but it's like still pretty cool just to watch this work, right? So like what's cool about this is like you're seeing so you can see it switched to reading mode, and it's opening so it's opening Airbnb listings. You can watch it thinking on top of it, saying it can't search Airbnbs. Now it's doing another search. And you can see all what's coming up on the screen on top is its chain of thought, which is kind of wild. It's just really cool to watch it. Look at, there you go. That's so
showing
crazy.
showing what's under
and it
the
just
hood.
moved the damn thing into the corner so you can see the pictures.
Yeah, showing what's under. Yeah, I didn't even think I think about that reason for it. Like I was like, oh, it's moving the mouse to click or something, but it's moving it so you can see more. I mean, this is pretty bananas. To see, because like I like them showing us what's under the hood and saying this is the thinking that we have in this model, right? Like that part of it, I think is intriguing as well, to your point, and you get to see it work.
Yeah, because like the deep research, right? You send it out there and you can kind of see the sources it's hitting, but you can't really see what the process of while it's happening, right? And like this is kind of blowing my mind right now. So I'm actually happy I hadn't used this before this time. So, okay, let me find a good thread here in the meantime to share while it runs. I had a feeling it was going to take, 15, 20 minutes. So I wanted to get it started while,
can I, so here's a question. In what world, because there used to be, this is how deep research used to be as well. And deep research has gotten a little quicker and things. Right now it's showing us everything. Do you think they're going to give us an option to toggle off the showing and it'll just like move a lot quicker? Because like I have to think it moves quicker than this, and this is moving at the speed I would theoretically move at if I was like super quick and knew where I was going. It's probably going to get to a point where you could have the option to, like, you don't need to show me that, just give me the results, and it'll probably be a lot quicker, right?
Totally. Yeah, I agree. It's going to be I think it's doing that. Like you'll probably have an option not to watch the live video of it or like the stream of it, right? And just like send it out and off to do things. I totally agree. So let's stop sharing. Let's stop sharing this for a second. Oh, there you go. Look, it found me for 3 nights. Okay, let me stop sharing this. Let's bring up a new Twitter thread.
And then do the zoom when you get on there too, because Twitter can be hard to read. But I'm
yeah, I'm actually like really interested to see how it does with am I zoomed enough or you need more?
I'll give it like 1 or 2 more.
Okay. So here you go.
There you go. That's perfect. That's perfect.
From Min. This was fun. So this guy did Tesco food shopping for him and ordered a roast dinner with sticky toffee pudding. Wow. Interesting. Okay, so that guy ordered his own dinner. Allie Miller got it to shop for clothes. So she's really great follow, by the way, in AI, Allie K. Miller, if you haven't followed her, if you don't follow her. So she had early access. Agent mode lets you delegate tasks like searching or browsing. You can spin up multiple little workers to fire off tasks and keep tabs as they chug through your to-do list. At the same time, if it gets stuck or goes off track, you could take over manually. I didn't even know you can take over manually, which is kind of cool. UI is friendly and keeps the reasoning transparent, so you're not left guessing what it's doing or why. So like what she just said here, that's the thing we were just talking about, like the difference between deep research and this, right? She says it's not perfect and doesn't give you as many artifacts as other players, but a strong platform for let's see how much I can hand off and supervise. So yeah, that's an interesting one. Shopping. This guy, Rowan, who we often reference here, built an entire retirement plan for himself. So he built a complete early retirement plan in 20 minutes. It found local tax laws, analyzed average spend rates, calculated his savings to retire at 30. Must be nice. Researched optimal investment allocations, found tax optimized strategies I'd never heard of, built multiple FIRE scenarios. So FIRE stands for financially independent, retire early, create and download presentable presentation with results. So like this is a picture of the presentation it gave him, Steve. So this is what it's going to do at the end, hopefully. Literally watch it browse websites, research topics, complete tasks in real time. Pretty crazy. Identify core. So here you go. Here's one that
also on the Rowan thing. Sorry, I forgot I was like, Rowan's got a good one. It's like step 1, create one of the most successful AI newsletters in existence. Step 2, tweet for a living. Step 3, profit. Like he basically is the underpants gnomes.
Use AI to retire myself, to build the retirement plan.
This is like content creators creating content about creating content, and it's like, you know, like he's like here's my retirement plan. I'm like, I love that you're showing this demonstration, but there is some hilarious like anyway.
The funniest thing was somebody asked him for the prompt, and he gave the prompt, and he did not edit the prompt, and it's like, here's my prompt, and it's like, build me this and this for somebody making $500K a year and blah blah blah. I'm like, oh god. So this person did identifying core customers and biggest missing features for your website. So I think like there's some real business use cases you could do. I'm obviously doing a fun one here, but create PowerPoint presentation from market strategy data, shop for shoes, make slides. This person actually used it to do see if it could do humanity's last exam, plan trips. That's what I'm doing. Beat first level of the ARC 3 AGI challenge. Oh, that's kind of fun to watch it do. So yeah, just so many things. Steve, seeing this, what would you do with it first? Obviously, the trip planning, but
the trip planning is like a given. I think, man, like I think like website optimization, that one is really, really interesting from a use case perspective, because the crazy part is I need to expand my thinking, because what you can unleash this on and ask it questions is so much deeper and thoughtful. Like a world where you could have it look at your website, tell you what's missing, and then tell you how to put it in place optimally and what you need to do step by step. I think that's interesting. I'm curious if there's a way to unleash this to optimize like a crypto trading strategy where
probably,
you know, more so than just, I know for a while ago you had played around with this a while ago where you had just simply tried to program like a trading strategy. And I think like this is so much smarter now. Like, I wonder if there's a world where once you can give it access to a lot of things, and I know certain AIs like this exist that people have tried to put together, but you could have, this is my optimal trading strategy. This is my risk tolerance. Here's $1,000.
I mean,
10,000.
Definitely, I think you could do an experiment like that. The other thing is like, I bet you could pull up a chart and have it sit there and do TA for you, right? Like if you were a chart person, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like you could pull up you could pull up like 5 charts, ask it what the best is, and ask it for the optimal strategy on that, and then in the future have it execute that for you. But you could do a lot of things where you could play the perps on that, or you could just simply play the DCA on that. You could play the buy-sell game and swing trade. Like, I think, you know, obviously it's not going to be correct. Just like, I mean, Billy's really smart. Billy's not right 100% of the time, but Billy's right enough on the dogs that it works. I think similarly, like you could do that with TA on something like this and see what it does. So like, I find that to be a fascinating, you know, financial execution to see, like, could you turn $100 into $1,000 following TA from something like this and say, like, these are the coins and the things I'm interested in. These are the ones I'm paying attention to. You could even tell it, I don't want to be watching the chart constantly. So do TA in a way that allows me to do it, look at it, you know, well,
that's the nice thing. You don't have to, like, you let it do it and you go do the next thing and have it kind of ping you or stop when there's a signal or something. Right. But yeah, I mean, opportunities here are endless, and I am like so interested. Obviously, I'm building a product and a business around this concept, but like being able to use AI to spot inefficiencies in markets that I could not do myself prior is, I think, a massive thing. Imagine setting this loose. Let's not use a crypto trading example or like a traditional like charting example, but imagine setting this loose on Polymarket, right? Where like, what is AI really good at? Making predictions and finding a bunch of data that's maybe hard to find, right? And like a lot of these prediction markets are structured like this, right? Like, hey, you know, especially the political stuff where you can be digging through so much Twitter feeds and speeches and polls all at one time, and to try to synthesize that into a probability, right, which equals the price you're going to buy something at on a poly market contract or not. Like, I think that is a massive, massive, massive opportunity that exists because first of all, these markets are new, right? And there's not a lot of people playing in them yet relative to, trading a Bitcoin chart, for example, or the stock market. And if it can price events better than the normal person who's already a smaller pool than usual, I think there's a massive opportunity in like using this stuff for prediction market type of events as well. But I did just want to point out this one before we go back to watching the demo work. So Ethan Mollick, also an amazing follow in AI. If you haven't, he's a professor at Wharton. Really, I read like all of his stuff. He's one of the people I have Twitter notifications on for. So definitely follow.
Can you provide a list at some point? Like, I'm trying to find like his @ So Ethan Mollick.
Yeah,
I'm trying
so
to
it's
find,
just
like, can you at some
Mollick.
point, and like we could probably share it with our audience too. I want to find a list at some point, and I actually need to create, and I'm long overdue to create an AI list. Like, I've done this for crypto, where like to get the noise down, I've put the crypto list. I need my AI list because I'm increasingly, not that I wasn't interested before, but you are so ground level on this stuff for so long. And every time you come on, I get really excited. And then I almost like, it's until the next week when I really revisit it because it doesn't show up in my feed nearly as much. And I don't have time to read newsletters, and it's not the job I'm doing. So like, I want to dig in more on this stuff and find the ways I can use it. So do you have like a good...
Oh yeah, I'll show you that in a second. Just it's already all done for you, and I'll show you how to find it. And everyone should follow all of these lists that I'm going to show you in a second. I did not create them. We'll make sure to credit the person who did when I show them. They are incredible. It's all the one-stop shop you need for everything AI. I'll bring that up right after this. So Ethan Mollick says, I'm finding ChatGPT to be useful, or agents to be useful. They're a better fit with the, intern analogy than any former AI, requiring oversight, still saving lots of time overall. For example, I update AI cost performance chart recently. The agent did all the grunt work with some guidance. And so, we always talk about, AI is, a strong, powerful intern type of thing here. He's saying this is the closest he's ever felt to kind of how true that is. But now I'll find you those lists. So there's a gentleman named Robert Scoble. And
we've talked about him before. That name is super familiar.
Yes. And so let's see if he has his list somewhere. So here you go. He's got it. I have a list of 28,000 researchers on X. So let's see. He's got all of these lists here. AI artists, AI community 2, 3, 4, AI companies, AI consultants, developer tools, educations, enterprise work, film creators, holiday lists, and you can just follow them or throw them into, an X Pro.
How do you spell his name? Robert what?
Scoble, Scoble, Scoble.
All right. Because I'm gonna try to find him. And then how did you find his list? It's not pinned, right? It was.
Oh, there's actually if you just go to his handle, so x.com/Scobleizer, Scobleizer.
Great name. Sounds like a frat house nickname. The Scobleizer, man.
Scobleizer.
He used to be so good at Halo 2. Anyway, yeah.
I'll also drop it here in the chat for you. There's a link, and then you guys can
classic Scobleizer.
But yeah, all of these lists, like, it's amazing. So he's spent so much time here, like just AI companies, people in the AI community, researchers, all this stuff. So like if you throw this into like an X Pro, like the TweetDeck thing, you could put a couple of these in just a row and like leave it in a browser and just go back and kind of have a snapshot at any single time on what is happening in the world of AI. It's pretty incredible. So shout out to Robert, who's made all of those things. Let's check in on our demo here. Oh, it's writing some sort of code. Hey, it's creating the deck.
Oh, new gear for the whiteout. I like this. It's already saying, is it confirmed whiteout for
Yeah, it
okay.
is. It's a night game. It's a night game.
Oh, you didn't have to do they didn't you might get
No
big
big noon.
kickoff.
No, it's already confirmed. It's
So
confirmed at 8 p.m.
Don't count your chickens. That's I'm so mad about the Texas game, and I'm also mad at Texas because Ohio State's opening the season against Texas in the shoe. It's a big noon kickoff game, which keeps us at, the noon time slot. And then Ohio State offered to have it on Sunday night as a standalone game, no NFL, no other college football, Sunday night football. Ohio
And they
State
said no?
Texas turned it down.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that soft? That is the softest, candy ass thing. Can you imagine if you were made that offer? Now, I'll say on the same breath, pretty happy Ohio State Penn State was a big noon kickoff game last year because I didn't want that Penn State night game in the whiteout. So I'm pretty happy about that. But
that's so funny. Yeah.
Oh, I love look at the deck.
Check it. This is amazing. So it is making me the slide here. This will be the best fucking thing you've ever done in your life. It's talking about the game. It inserted this picture of Beaver Stadium at night in a whiteout, which is sick. It listed the 4 tickets. The price it found $347 per ticket in the upper level seats. It found by Airbnb for $26.27 at $1,223 per night. It sleeps 6 guests, has 4 beds, and is 5 miles from campus. And it found me 2 very nice looking brand new pieces of white apparel from homefieldapparel.com, which is fucking crazy, man. Like, this is insane.
It feels like the next iteration of this, you're gonna click on the deck and it's gonna be like, oh
yeah. Zombie Nation's gonna be playing in the background. Dude, it's so crazy, isn't it? Like, it says it's editing answered up here you go. So it's still writing code for, I guess this is how it creates the deck, which is kind of cool. So you can see all the code that it's writing to actually create the deck. It's trying to fix something in the deck. But I don't know. This has been pretty cool. We only have seen a couple little snippets here. And we've gotten to the point where, so it completed all of my tasks. We're just waiting for the deck to be built for us, but it did all the things I asked for in, 15, 20 minutes since we've been chatting. And I don't know, pretty crazy. How does it make you feel, Steve?
Makes me feel great. I love this. And I know some people get afraid of our AI overlords, but it's coming anyway. And I see stuff like this and I think this is awesome. The purposes of it, we're only scratching the surface with. We're going to see people who have use cases for this that you'll do it. And I bet you'll see people you're going to see people copying custom prompts, basically putting your information here and you'll get exactly what you need. People are going to be able to build decks for work. People are going to be able to build decks and, convincing. There's going to eventually a video that's going to be involved with it. I think that this has a lot of potential. And the idea of, you've talked about this on the show before, but the idea of me being able to connect my email, my credit card, my other stuff, and I understand why you would not right now at this stage, but the idea of having a personalized agent that I can connect that to and be like, yo, this is the thing I'm looking for. This is the Jetsons type stuff that we're heading towards. This is very real, but it's funny. The thing that we had wrong back in the day is it's not the robot. Yes, you want robot butlers that are going to do your laundry and things like that, but
you'll get those too.
And those are coming. We talked about that at one point on the show. And I was like, I don't know if I want to let that thing in my house. Cause we talked about designing the optimal human and would it be arms and legs or whatever, the optimal thing. But it is a almost Skynet-like and scary intelligence that you just talk to and it does things. And it's scary, but exciting that the vacation, I'm going to do the vacation example. I'm going to look at what our budget was last year. I'm going to program it around the 4th of July again. I'm going to ask the very specific questions. I'm going to put the family assumptions in there just to test it out. And I'm going to skip, I guess I could say build a deck that gives me 5 locations that here are the requirements. Here's the total budget, include, drivable distance, that sort of thing. I'm going to have very specific parameters that you just did. And I'm going to get answers, and it's going to be fun. So what are your reactions? Is it scary? Is it fun? What do you think?
I'm just wondering how long it's going to take Cap to try to do this for his next best ball draft and how he's going to use it for it. What are you thinking, Cap?
Let's see if I can get it to actually draft a best ball.
That's kind of what I was wondering. I was wondering if it would do it. I'm sitting here thinking about, I wonder if you could have this sitting with you doing a best ball draft.
I know you can connect, like it's got a selection of like apps you can connect to it. I wonder, because it's not opening up like a Chrome browser, it's doing it all. It's in,
but it has its own browser. So when we were reading Allie's tweet, I don't see a spot where you can do this, and it might be only if it gets stuck. But like she said,
like the ability to log in to.
She said you can do something. Yeah, you can stop it somehow. Or intervene with it. I got to find out where and how you can do. Oh, maybe it's here. Yeah, take over browser. So in theory, Cap, you get it to go to wherever you Underdog or Best Ball or whatever, or wherever you're playing Best Ball. You stop it. You take over the browser. Look at this. You take over the browser and you log it in and you let it keep going.
I'm going to need to now, because the breaking news this morning is Justin Fields was carted off. So anyone that's religious or believes in thoughts and prayers, I could use all your thoughts and prayers for my.
Oh no! Are you heavy in Justin Fields?
My most end quarterback. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
good vibes in New York. We need him.
Justin Fields and Garrett Wilson back together was like they're getting the band back together. That was supposed to be, oh man, who knows? Hopefully he's fine. I love Justin Fields too. Like that guy, man, like he's a gamer. He's tough. Ugh.
I might try to actually send this to a couple friends.
You got my email. Send it to me. I want to look at it. I'm not trying to invite myself
I just
to your
saw
Penn
the
State party.
I'm not having one. I just created it today. I would love to go.
How ChatGPT helped me plan and persuade my friends to for a guy's weekend.
If you could pick
one, and then you do like some crazy content around it, like you have somebody follow you around the whole time, and you make a hype video out of it.
You need to use ChatGPT for more stuff. So like you need to have it do not just this, but we need like this is a fun thing where it's like, I don't know. And I don't know if it's the Oregon game, if there's the one game you could pick that you want them to do, is it the Oregon game? Is that the one or is it another one? But like, I want it to be obviously not Ohio State, Penn State, if I were to go to one, because like, I don't want to go as that would be fun, but I think it's more fun to go with a friend and root for the team with the friend.
Yeah, totally.
And like, I wouldn't necessarily wear like Big Ten schools and ones I don't like is where I draw the line at wearing the gear, but I would wear like
you can wear white.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can wear white. You don't have to,
sure.
You leave the M out. You don't need to wear the lion, we get it.
Yeah. Like it's I don't know. It would be a fun one to wear, but like,
I love watching it even edit the slides. And it was like, oh, this was overlapping. The t-shirt icon was overlapping the words. I moved it. And this is kind of crazy.
If you have AI planned the whole weekend though, not just this, but then you use it for like 5 other things, like my meals, the
Instacart order to the Airbnb, right? Like all of that, you could do the whole thing.
Yeah. What are like the 10 things you would have it planned for that weekend? And then you, like you said, you document it. It starts with something like this. Then it's like, I sent it to my friends. Great. They're in. Like, there's some fun, like, like ding sounds that come as they're saying, I'm in, I'm cool. Okay. It sounds fun. Right. Yeah. I'm a Buckeye, but I'll get it. I'll get some white gear. You have it find you some white gear that's not Penn State related. Like, then where are the best places to eat? What are my, like, I don't know what it is, but like, you could have it plan road trip pit stops. Like, it could be.
Totally. You can make you reservations. It could get you order the food to your Airbnb. It could, like it could probably build you a Spotify playlist, right? Like all those kinds of things. Like I think it'd be super fun. Now I'm convinced I want to do this. What I've heard is you're coming with me. So,
I'm like very tentatively interested, assuming it's not overlapping with like, I have like one more family camping type thing around, but like assuming this doesn't overlap with anything, not only would it be fun, but I like the experiment of like actually letting AI guide your journey 100%. Like
Yeah.
I think
It
that's,
would
I
be
think
really good content. It would be fun content. Like it would get 1 million views for sure. Yeah. All right. Well, we know where this is headed. We don't need to watch the end, but
I agree with Von Frunten. I haven't used this agent mode, but I think I should recently. I've got a flight credit, and I used it to basically where are my best options. Did a whole detailed thing. Didn't have a pretty deck or anything, but did all the searching that would have taken me. It wouldn't have been hours. It would have been multiple searches over several days, and it basically summarized everything for me in a matter of minutes. But I think that is very it's a great use case for this. I do have somewhat, it's going to seem unrelated, but I promise it's related to AI. We've got some other breaking news about an hour ago. Any guesses what drove this pump on the Vine meme coin chart?
Oh, wow.
Any guesses?
Wow. No.
There's one particular KOL that can send a chart flying like this.
Thread guy?
No.
I was just trying to think of a content creator, like a Vine tie-in content.
The content creator. Elon just said we're bringing back Vine, but in AI form. I don't even know what that means, but
Wendy, what does this actually mean, though? Wendy's the GOAT, by the way. Solomon in the chat says, I needed this so my wife and her mother didn't spend the last 3 months trying to figure out our cruise for March next year. And then his next one says, definitely need time for this as it's much longer of an operation than normal. I would argue you need less time because you can just set this and we're watching every step of the way because we're kind of doing it finished. We're kind of doing the demo, but you could have set this going, went and done 5 other work related things and come back. And now we actually have our response here, Cap. So if you want to go back to the screen. So here's everything you need to know, plus a presentation you can share with your friends. Game tickets under 350. Verified tickets for the 27th whiteout game at Beaver Stadium start at around 310. Face value 255 plus fees. The cheapest seats on retail sites 347 within your 350 cap. I didn't even know that. I just gave it a cap. I kind of just guessed. Starting prices at 250. Buy soon. I found an entire home Airbnb 1 to 1.8 miles from campus. It has 4 bedrooms, 4 baths, 4 bedrooms, 4 beds, 1.5 baths, plenty of space for your group. Host allows self check-in and the house is on the bus route. Nice touch. 4 sample dates around that time. Price was about $3,669. So $1,200 per night, which is right in my budget. Man, it's almost like I've done this before. You'll be well within a 20-mile radius. Perfect gear for the whiteout. It found me all this awesome gear from my favorite college football gear spot, home field apparel, mix and match layers to stay warm. Presentation, here you go. The PowerPoint slide or presentation creates, sells the trip as the best fucking thing you'll ever do, covers whiteout tradition and why the game is so special, ticket pricing, details, photos of the Airbnb, proximity to campus, estimated cost. Interesting. You could download the presentation here. Let's look at it. Why whiteout? I love it. Stay in Happy Valley. Get decked out. Itinerary and budget. So this is like a great starting point. So, and there you go. Now I have something to send my friends. Did it in 20 minutes. It would have taken me much longer to do this, and pretty cool.
The presentation would have taken you more than 20 minutes.
That's what I mean. It's crazy.
like I'm legitimately going to calculate the budget and try to like rerun this thing for like multiple vacation spots, and I'm going to start with driving areas, then I'll try like flight, and I'll keep working within the same budget range. And because this is a very useful thing that I can today set my computer up on, tell it to go do things. There are so many applications you could use this for, and it's just I need to think how it applies to my content creation.
You can probably spin up multiple of these at the same time. In terms of like, that was just one chat window. I could probably have a chat window doing 5 different tasks because I have 400 of these, it said. I mean, you could get a lot done with 400 of these things, right? And yeah, pretty interesting stuff. And then, you know, like this is like the consumer version of these, right? And then like the next iteration is being able to potentially kind of build your own that can work within other prompts and stuff, and shit, you can do that right in ChatGPT now too with codecs and things. So pretty cool. Solomon said, I love the set it and forget it, but do you not just love watching this stuff going? Yes, it's true. It's like addicting to sit there and watch. He said could probably just start a YouTube channel for crazies to watch automations. Totally, which is funny because it so defeats the purpose of automation, right? Like I'm gonna sit there and watch the thing. But yes, I have the same problem.
Yeah,
Cool.
man.
That was it.
That was cool. Thanks for running that for us.
I just wanted to really subtly tell you we should go to the Penn State Oregon game.
This has been an entire psyop to get me specifically to go to Penn State, Oregon, to do a trip. Like, this was a trip with friends, and you're like, we haven't been recording any of this. There's no like, there's not a show. It's just yeah, it's an intervention to get me to go to a Penn State game, which, by the way, like something I actually want to do. So like you put that in, I'm like, that's an interesting prompt. I would love to check out Penn State and Happy Valley at some point. So very I wish we lived in the same city so we could do the whole road trip together. Road trips
will probably end up at we'll probably end up facing each other in the playoff at some point this year, hopefully.
I know we talked about that where it was like national title game. Like imagine national title game in Atlanta. We were very close. We were one half of football. Sorry, I know this makes it worse, but one half of football, one crazy Jeremiah Love game away from, you know, one Drew Aller interception away from Ohio State, Penn State in the finals. And there's a non-zero chance we're in the playoffs this year. I think Penn State and Texas are like my sort of picks this year. Like they were my picks after last year. I think Texas, assuming Arch Manning isn't trash.
I'm not ready for the pressure of being ranked number one. It's not our thing. So we'll see. I'm afraid of it.
I think it's gonna be a fun year, man. I'm excited for that game in Columbus. I'm glad it's in Columbus this year, but I think Penn State's gonna do some cooking this year, and I think it's gonna be, you know, I think you're looking at a bye over a first round playoff game this year at home. But yeah, it could be a fun one, man.
Von Front says literally doing the same thing for an IU game. My IRL friends are trying to plan something around. He says the group chat has not been helpful. Yeah.
Well, that's just real quick to put like a button on it for your exact example. The reason why I like it is that I'm really lucky that this Hilton Head vacation I did with the kids' friends and their parents and stuff, there was somebody who was really organized, who found an Airbnb, and it was like, that was kind of all that was required there. Right. And like, everybody was pretty flexible on budget. So like, we're like, just plan it and we got this thing. You know, I think for group chats, when you're trying to plan something and you need certain parameters, it's a nightmare to plan a night out. Like I'll use it to plan nights out with friends for new restaurants and places that I want to eat and want certain parameters. And oh, by the way, these are what my kids, I can't get them all to eat the same thing. It's like, those sorts of things. Like you could use it in very moderate, practical ways. And I think that idea that instead of going through a group chat and discussing, I found this one, and somebody like misses the last 5 texts and texts a new it's like, you just have it all in one place. Like this is very cool, man.
Yeah. I'm excited to keep trying it to see if it'll actually like task things. Like that was largely a research task, right? And we know it's very good at research, but I kind of want to see if it'll draft Cap a best ball. Cap, I'm waiting for the tweet thread on I let AI draft my best ball team, and it drafted.
I'll try today.
I won $1 million
right now, so I will. I'll try today and see if it can save me from my Fields exposure that just ruined my morning. Real quick, though, we do have a few other things, some breaking news on the show I want to get into before you touch on Pixelball briefly, if I could. Anything else on the AI front, though, before I hit these headlines?
No, sir. Thank you for having me. As always, I'll talk to you guys next week.
Really enjoy it. I'll keep you posted. I'll post my best ball draft. I'll post it, and then my luck underdog will like ban my account or something for automating the draft process. Because maybe
use a burner.
They have overlays and stuff, but fully automating a draft is the one thing they've said no to so far. But
AI companion. It's a companion.
So
later, guys.
See,
Thanks,
man,
Brad.
have a great one. Thanks again. Appreciate the demo. And I think, yeah, maybe it's a we do Ohio State, Texas game in late August, and then just do a 2-week road trip to find our way to Happy Valley. On the topic of ETH strategy companies, though, ETH strategy, this is Clouded's actually on the team. This was a few minutes ago. It's now over 1,000 ETH already raised. They're already on, like they already did a pre-sale. This is the public sale at the same price. They're basically another one of these are attempt to be the to be to ETH what strategy and Sailor are to Bitcoin. You can see here ETH strategy is already 22nd on the list of the ETH strategic reserve companies, holding a little under 8,000 ETH, and have raised already over $1,000 more here in this morning's public sale. Fortunately, U.S. residents are not able to participate, but we at least have a Trump meme coin. Speaking of Trump, I don't know how we've made it 2 hours and not talked about South Park yet, but we'll leave that for all of you to do your research after the show. Another on the ETH strategic reserve front and NFT holding companies, GameSquare Holdings just made their first NFT purchase for their reserve. They've added over 10 million each to the treasury, bringing their total Ethereum holdings over to 52 million. They had earmarked 10 million for NFTs. They spent half of that on a $5 million ape punk purchase just a few minutes ago. So GameSquare now has a iconic CryptoPunk as their brand identity, I guess. And I'll just double down again. We're going to see, like, this is just starting. Like, we've got ETH native, basically crypto degen starting this strategy. You've got people like Tom Lee and Joseph Lubin doing it. While I'm not as convicted as like, will we see more than 12 brand coins that are successful a year from now? I think so. I am nearly positive we'll see more than a dozen new ETH strategic reserve companies. And Phonics mentioned in the chat, like his concern here is that this is the most obvious risk of a black swan event this cycle, these treasury companies. I agree if they're buying their ETH or their Bitcoin with debt, if they're buying it on leverage, I don't see how they could blow up if they're just buying spot. In this case, they're doing a pre-sale, they're going to take that money, they're going to go buy ETH, and like, could their valuation go down? Yeah, but I just, maybe I'm not smart enough to understand. I just don't understand how they could buy up or how they could blow up if they're just buying spot. Like I theoretically, I understand how strategy could blow up, but these that are just going out and buying the asset, their company valuation could go down, but it's not like they can get liquidated. Am I making sense?
Yeah, you are making sense. I mean, look, there's always executional risk where like the idea would be I think the risk Von Frunten would be bringing up would be something along the lines of like the company is poorly run, whatever they're doing besides the treasury company part ends up going bad. They have executional risk at the top and then they get liquidated. What I think is interesting though is the more of these exist, the less black swan executional risk there is. This isn't like the housing market, right? This is like a situation where unless they decide that they're all going to dump, or unless there is I don't even know what event would happen that could do that. It's like the more the risk is spread out, the less the risk becomes for something like this, right? It's like, if it's sufficiently decentralized in its distribution in that way, then, it just becomes less of a risk factor. So
I can't believe I'm going to do this again, but I think this is like second time in a month that I'm going to share a post from one of the Bankless boys. I hate that they're ETH bulls. Sorry. This is real data though. In the last 5 days, ETH net inflows have outpaced Bitcoin net inflows. It is remarkable considering the size difference. Some outflows on Bitcoin for the 1st, 22nd, 23rd, the days before at 522, 673. It's like, I still don't understand the lag. I don't understand why it took, like, this was a year ago they launched these ETFs. A year later, it's like, okay, here we go. Like, the floodgates are opening. I can't comprehend why there was such a lag. I can't comprehend why this is just starting now, but it is. I'm not complaining, and I do think it's just starting. And yeah, I am convinced we're going to see many, many, many more, because not only is it a bull and number go up, the reception, like the equity markets are having, like, their stock performance is skyrocketing. Like, it's just like others are going to see this. And again, in the scenario that it's not fancy financing and all they're doing is, let's say today they have cash reserves of 100 million and they take 10 million of that cash reserves and they go buy Ethereum with it. There's no risk in that. I mean, the risk is that that 10 million of cash reserves becomes 5 million. The company's stock price is likely to outpace, or they're likely to create more value in their stock than the Ethereum that they purchased, based on and I know it's probably the roller coaster thing and each one gets smaller than the one prior, but so far the response has been phenomenal and they're being rewarded on both fronts.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, I think and again, I'll say it again. I think it's how many of them there are. Unless one of them, it becomes so, like, MicroStrategy. When people are like, "Oh, I can't believe like they're saying the same thing," like, MicroStrategy is sort of a one of one at the moment as far as what they're doing. There are so many ETH companies coming out right now, and I know other people. There's ETFs, so they have to buy there and all the banks. But to back it as a spot ETF. But the point being, like, if like. I think we sometimes, like, almost misuse the term black swan in this space, where we act like black swan can just be something that causes like a temporary drop in price. Like, black swans are like major events, like the FTX collapse. It was just, this might be industry changing. So yeah, I agree with you.
Also unexpected, right? Like, the fact that there's so many people are saying that the whole Sailor thing could implode and that could be the black swan. That almost is like the not the definition of a black swan, at least I understand. Like, black swans that comes out of nowhere and unexpected, right? Like, whereas people are kind of, this could be a potential outcome. I don't know if that, and again, semantics, I guess, but
yeah, bullish. I just staked some more ETH, and I was gonna actually look for people the best place to like stake ETH, simply stake Ether yield, USDC, etc. Because I think probably gonna get into some of that more passive earning.
Did you get into that base app yet?
No, I have not.
That seems like the well, I mean, Blast is still the best if you want to hold Blast, but I think I saw base and Wasabi on base is like 20+%, 23%, something like that on USDC, which is insane.
Yeah, that's been nice. Do you want to hit Pixel? Yeah, let's. I mean, we can hit Pixel Vault. I mean, honestly, it sucks to fly over topic because I know we're hitting the end of the show, but I think it's worth bringing up. And we should deliver on that one.
Check.
What's that?
Probably good to keep me in check, because if I wasn't going to get spicy before I left Justin Fields, I'm disappointed. I mean, it's not over yet. I really hope they do the right thing and give the IP to Beanie for $1. Give it to Chris Wahl. Like, let someone do something with it. It's okay that you failed. It's okay that you burnt through $100 million. I don't know how.
More. I mean, 100 million. Well, I guess the raises probably went to the VC, so I shouldn't say more. 100 million is, you're right. Take that back. But yeah, 100 million.
A lot of money. Tens of millions, if not over $100 million. I don't know where the hell it went. I don't know what, like, they didn't have that big of a team. Like, I truly, like, how has Yuga burnt through cash? That's pretty easy to connect those dots. Right? They hired big executives. They
built games. They did stuff like
stuff. It takes a lot of capital. I don't think Battle Plan was like $50 million project. I just don't know. It's the whole thing is really perplexing to me, and I think it's a good story. Like, sometimes companies, startups raise too much too fast, and it's the beginning of the end. Like, I think this thing maybe plays out different if they don't get that raise, if they actually grind and make more thoughtful decisions with their capital. And who knows? Like, it's easy to judge in hindsight and Monday morning quarterback, but we It's the first advisor deal we've gotten rugged on. You know, we used to have Reboot advisor in the bio. We had 7 figures of tokens that were still owed to us.
In tokens, not like 7-figure deal, like in their tokens, right? Like
it was a material amount of money at the time of the deal.
Yeah, at the time of the deal, it was definitely a material amount of money.
A couple years of vesting, and token goes to 0. But to even still not honor that, like to not send tokens that are basically worth 0 is just poor form, poor execution. Feel lied to, feel rugged, and
we were lied to and rugged. I mean, it was, we had a deal where when they were
launching, like we have other, like the night shift crew, like there was people that we passed this along to that no one's getting it. It's like it's really poor form, really poor leadership. I'll send G-Funk an invite. I don't think he's going to come on the show. He seems to be kind of like sitting off the brand account and not really like kind of, I don't say he's hiding from this, but I guess I will hold final judgment until it's all said and done. But I will be disappointed if he just decides to just decommission the entire thing and shut it down, as opposed to giving someone like Chris Wahl or Beanie a shot to make it a go still.
Yeah, it's so a couple things on that. Like Cap mentioned, I mean, that was a bummer. Like when they launched Reboot, they got a bunch of partners. We had a meeting at VCon in Indianapolis where we, closed a deal with them to get
think about that. Like at that time, Pixelvault was viewed as a blue chip. Never like, no, I know now I wouldn't agree to terms like that, but never my wildest dreams. Did I think the token would go down over the course of a couple of years? Yes, that was likely. Did I think that they would be closing up shop in 2025? Thought didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah, it was crazy. It's like, they were launching Reboot. They're getting ready to give it another try. I was respectful, like, of the fact that, like, G-Funk was still trying, right? Because there were things that they tried.
And he still had millions of dollars, like a lot of fucking money.
Yeah, and it's just they couldn't execute. I mean, my take on Pixelvault as a brand is that what a cool start. I owned a Punks comic before I owned a Bored Ape. The concept was, for people who don't know, historically, you bought the Punks comics, you put them in a staking contract, and over the course of a couple of years, I want to say it was 2 years for maturity or something, those comics that were staked earned Punks tokens. And they would earn you fractional shares based on the 10,000 Punks comics of a percentage of, like, I believe it was 16 CryptoPunks, I want to say was the number. People couldn't afford CryptoPunks. It was a way to get exposure to them. And by the way, CryptoPunks went up a ton in that time period. So the Punks, in theory, as the backing token, were backed by a real asset. Like, if you think about that in itself, that's really cool innovation. You got this Punks comic. I have one over my shoulder. I know Cap does as well. These sort of editions, this physical copy by Chris Wahl.
I saw someone a picture on the time on this story, and they took a picture of their thing still on their wall, and they put a Post-it note on it and said, this could have been a Tesla.
Yep. Well, because those Punks, they got you, everyone you bought in the first 500 got you a free, edition to number 2. But like the problem was, like, they had this cool mechanism, fractional shares of CryptoPunks. They're trying to develop IP. They partnered with Adidas to get Adidas to share their IP with Punks Comics issue 2, G-Money as well. They put some really cool apparel together. Like the jumpsuits are hilarious. Everyone makes fun of the tracksuits, but like the hoodie was a good hoodie. Like we saw it at VCon 1. And thought it was really cool. Remember in Minneapolis, we saw someone on a rooftop wearing one when they weren't out yet.
You're talking the comics hoodie?
Mm-hmm. Well, but no. The comics hoodie is good. That's a great one.
My favorite hoodie in crypto. My favorite hoodie in Web3 because it's like very clearly like a crypto, like a comic. Like it's very, but you can't tell from afar. It looks like a design. Like it's the way they did that. I thought was very well done, and it's like I can actually wear that to my daughter's lacrosse game.
And I wear it all the time. Still wear it all the time. Somewhere around here, I think they're upstairs now. I think I moved when I cleaned up my basement. But like the shoes where they had the comics inside the shoes, the Indigo Hurt shoes they did with Adidas. Like for people to know, I wish I had them to show on the stream. I could go run. I should go run and get them. Yeah. So App's gonna get them. But the inside of the shoe themselves has a comic in it. It's incredible detail. They're very cool. So they did a lot of cool stuff. My take on it, though, honestly. When I look at what happened with Pixelvault, they got a lot of money and they just started creating what they called game theory and this over financialization of everything, where it was buy or burn this comic, then stake this one to get this. And then you have a decision. You can make this, you can get this meta hero or do this thing. And there is so much like confusion around what they were, what you were doing. They went from 10,000 NFTs that were digital fractional ownership of assets. Very cool. Within a year, they had over 100,000 and a bunch of planetary DAOs and all these other things that just didn't make sense and buy planets and make all this money. And I think it's a bummer when you think about the whole thing, because again, I was a huge fan of what they are, but yeah, look, Kev's got it. It's like the detail inside. Look at this inside the shoe. They have panels from comics inside the shoe. Just very cool. Like honestly, very, very cool shoes.
They even put the little like hearts from the Indigo Hers, glasses. Like it's just really like I love these shoes. Like I've worn them a few times, but I want to keep them like, good shape. And like even the, like, I don't know if you can see the logos here. It's funny that
and it's fuzzy. It's like fuzzy. The material is really cool.
Mm-hmm. Like two of these, Punks and G Money, both ceased to exist. I mean, I guess G Money's still alive, but 9DCC and Punks both being decommissioned. Even the sideways Adidas logo, I get compliments on that shirt all the time. And I think Adidas did that I think that was like their Web3, their on-chain version of, their brand. They flipped the Adidas logo sideways. And it's just like, how did they go from this, like in their first few months, to burning through $100 million plus treasury? I can't, like, it's just, I should stop. It is what it is. And I'm not like fighting people. I know businesses fail, but this one's surprising to me.
It's just, it was so well set up. And it's like, I don't know what the funding was for that they got from A16 and all those other folks. And maybe they always planned the planetary sale and they're always going to just cash out on that.
I'd love to see their actual financials, because I think you're right. Probably way more than $100 million.
I mean, the Punks comic sale alone, they were 0.2 ETH for a Punks comic, I believe. And they sold 10,000 of them.
Might have been 0.2.
I'll have to check. That's a good question.
It was at least 0.1 though.
I thought it was 0.2.
Might have been 0.2, but the first 5,000 you got two of them. Maybe that's what I'm thinking.
No, the first 5,000 got you access to Punks comic 2.
Is that it?
Yeah. I think I owned like 4 or 5 of them at one point. But the first 5,000 got you a free Punks Comics 2. That was the appeal of being the first 5,000. And again, I'm almost positive it was 0.2. So that alone right there is a 2,000 ETH raise.
Jumping around a little bit, but you made me think because it's like, so I was thinking comics and they had that going for them. You fell off stage again. I don't know what's going on with X. We didn't hit on today, I guess, noteworthy to at least flyover is Anime, or Azuki rather, launched their version of animated shorts that's an ERC20. Did you see this?
Yeah, I bought a couple on OpenSea to support. It looks like the money is being used to like sort of fund them doing more anime stuff. So I bought a couple to support.
Maybe that was never going to work. Maybe a Punks comic was never going to take off. But they had an insanely talented artist. It's still to this day. I mean, I'll give a toss up between my Good Vibes honorary and the one that Chris did in the the Meta Hero version. Like it's just like he's incredibly talented. They lost their path, right? They what they started as, they pivoted far too many times away from it. And anyways, I hope they get back to that. I would love to see Punk's comic actually make a go as a comic, an animated series, something like that. And maybe it just doesn't work. Maybe it doesn't expand beyond crypto and Web3, but I would have liked to at least see an attempt to do that.
Would have been nice.
Aaron jumped up on stage. Aaron, we're getting ready to wind things down, but go ahead and get in here. GM, what brought you up?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, look, I'm a Pixel Vault OG. Like I bought the comic. I'm wearing the gray comic sweatshirt now. I've been crying all night. It's and that hoodie, the one with Bored Ape Yacht Club, G Money, and Adidas and Pixel Vault, that's the best hoodie in Web3. I mean, now it's tinged with sadness, but it's the best. And you know what happened at Pixel Vault? First of all, when they lost VGF, I think that was that was the beginning of the end because he was Pixel Vault. But everybody overcomplicates it, right? It was very, very simple. You bought a comic, or you bought a Punks comic, and if you were the first, like Steve said, if you were the first, whatever you bought, you got Punks comic number 2. You had to buy 2 of them, and then one of them you could turn into a foundation token. One of them you could turn into a physical comic, and then you got planets, and then you got dust, and then you got meta heroes, and then you got Punk's token, and then you got Pow token, and then you could play meta heroes, and then you lost all your money. It was just very, very simple to follow everything. It all led to 0, and that's where we are right now. And if anybody wants to buy a meta hero, I've got one really, really cheap. But I agree with you. I think that they should give it to Chris Wahl. Dude's a good dude. Art's amazing. Let him do something with it.
Yeah, I do. Agreed. I also will agree with Geo here, who says, I sold my Pixel Vault stuff not long after they kicked out Beanie. I read the comic and it was bad, and I realized no one actually read the comic, and I was in a Ponzi. It was I will agree. Like, the art was great, the content was not good, and yeah, the comic was bad. I will give you that. And no one reads anyways. But
sure. I mean, listen, in this industry, if you sell something, you can almost be 99% that you made a good decision because the project was going to fail. I mean, it's not like it's kind of like a broken clock is right 2 times. I think people that are like, I knew it about Pixel Vault. I mean, you could say that about almost every company in Web3. And I know Pixel Vault was a big example of this, but I don't know. People shouldn't be breaking their arms, patting themselves on the back, figuring out that a Web3 company is going to fail.
Yeah, I mean, especially ones that got massive amounts of funding. It's like those usually have longer runways than this. And so, to the point of it, it's like you raise $100 million and you barely last longer than companies that raise nothing or raise 10 million or whatever. It's just, you had a runway that didn't happen. It's a bummer. It's a bummer. Like we said, we got,
and it's not lost on me. You compare that to the ones we've been talking about that are like the golden childs of this cycle, REKT and Igloo. I know they have raised funds now, but both of them combined have raised less capital than Pixel Vault did combined. Like, and probably not even close, probably by a magnitude of like 10. Like, it's really wild that I'm not saying VCs are evil.
Punchy Penguins is version 2, by the way. Don't forget that version 1, that team isn't there anymore. So Punchy Penguins hugely successful, but that's not the version 1 of Punchy Penguins.
Fair. And same thing with Moonbirds. Seeing a revival after new leadership. And so that does leave me mildly optimistic. I would not rush out and buy a bunch of Pixel Vault comics or meta heroes, but
I might make a small bet that they're going to get acquired by someone and they'll have a pump and I'll sell.
If Beanie gets it, they'll cook for a minute and then it'll probably trim back. I've got the meta hero. I've got a couple comics here and there, some 1s, some 2s. I think I tax loss harvested some at one point. I still like, I don't know, like, I'm trying to remember who it was that was like, it was small for let's start a comic company. Great idea. Let's find some guys who can write and draw comics. Why? Let's do it ourselves. You sure about that? Yeah, sure. I'm sure. We got millions of dollars. What could go wrong? They did have a great artist. Like, Chris Wahl is legit. Like, he was doing stuff for Marvel. Like, he is world class at what he does. But I don't think they. I mean, they had some writers, but I don't think they brought in like leading. I don't know. It's sad.
Yeah, it's sad and it's a bummer, and it's one of those ones where there was a real community there. The founders DAO was really smart people. There was a period of time where it's like having a Punks comic and showing you minted in your wallet means that you were around and you weren't an idiot at the time. Like, you were kind of like this idea, like, hey, you knew what you were doing at one point in the space. Like, it was a flex that you were an early Punks comic minter. You had a founders DAO token, which you burned a Punks comic to get. It's like, man, at one point, you could have sold all those things for a whole lot of money. And look, Pixel Vault's one of my better trades. I did get out on some Punks comics. I did get out on some mint passes. And so I did well on that, and it funded some things. So I played it okay, but I'm just bummed because I think the fractional ownership of Punks was such a cool concept. I think the idea of developing IP around the crypto Punks to the point where Adidas is involved with you is pretty impressive. You know, one of the first major brands to come into Web3, and they came in with you, Bored Ape Yacht Club, who was huge at the time, obviously, and G-Money, who was, a designer who knew what he was doing and knew what he was doing with Punks. It's like they came in with that, and it's like to see what's happening now, it's just, it's tough. It's a tough watch, but I hope someone acquires it. There's a chance I'll throw a little ETH, sprinkle a little ETH, and take a couple shots on just owning some meta heroes, knowing that they may do something with it. But I mean, even like the battle plan, like my son enjoyed playing battle plan. He has no motivation, no financial incentive. He liked battle plan. They actually made battle plan way too complicated and didn't end up working after they made some changes to it. But yeah, it's a bummer. But I don't know, Cap. We're going to do Coffee with Captain tomorrow. We're going to do it at a primetime spot at like the 8:30, 8:45 spot. So the people will all be in tomorrow. We'll make sure we draw their cards for them. Any other thoughts before we let everyone sail off into their day?
Nope. Good show. Appreciate everyone tuned in. Appreciate Bunch as always. I've got some AI agent homework to do today, and as well as defining a brand coin. So appreciate everyone who added to the combo. And if you haven't hit it yet, go hit that reminder for Friday's show. It's pinned up top all the way to the right. We'll finish tomorrow with a bang. Got a buried lead. Showed 950, 50 more to go to big 1000. And again, send your thoughts and prayers my way, or actually towards New York for Justin Fields. Let's hope it's just he's back by week 1.
Yeah. Thanks everyone who came through today. We will thank you for the tips today. Great tips coming through today. We'll be back tomorrow on Cap's account for Coffee with Captain. We'll talk to everybody bright and early tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Thanks for tuning into Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin. We hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, nothing we discussed today is financial advice. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Welcome to the future.